You're muted.
Ooh, what up, what up, what up? I am here. I don't think I'm muted. I think it's on their side. Like my volume is on max right now, so we should get some volume very, very soon. I'm hoping. I'm really, really hoping. But also, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the Bren Chong Cup 2 World Finals. We made it. This is what everything's been leading up to. We've seen the best of the best from each of the region, figured out who's number 1, number 2, and number 3. But now it's time to figure out who is the best in the world. Bren Chong Cup 2, we will determine that. I guess there's 3 days, today, tomorrow, and the next day. So by the end of Sunday, we will know who the best Clash Royale player is in the world. I don't exactly don't know if that's a true statement. That might be a little bit of a I don't know, over explanation, just saying that one tournament kind of shows off the best player in the world. But yes, I know what you guys are saying. I thought Rich was casting it. Yes, Rich had a last minute thing come up. I don't exactly know what. I don't know the details. But he asked me, he's like, hey, Cash, can you do it? And I said, sure. So I'm kind of out of breath right now just because I've been running around trying to set up everything. And I thought it started at 10:30, but it started a little earlier, so I've been running around. I got dressed real quick. You know, I got to do my hair and put on my hat. And, well, I made a bagel, but I didn't eat the bagel. I didn't eat the entire bagel. So, you know, I'm good. Hopefully I can catch my breath a little bit. Also, everybody, what's up? Mashed tomato, by the way. Thank you so much for the fall, or the sub. That means the absolute world. Also, everybody, I don't think I'm going to be able to catch up on chat too quickly. I'm going to cast, let's cast at least the end of this game. And then between the games, I'll say hello to everybody. But this is not an easy first round for craaaap. craaaap has been one of those players that has been absolutely dominating in the Bren Chong Cup, really putting a name for himself. Going into this, he was similar to Raiki Jones in the Asia region, which I casted a lot, who was known as a 2v2 player. But if you're good at 2v2 in Clash Royale, you can definitely do 1v1. And craaaap has been doing very, very well in North America side. I respect him even more just because the way he got to be second in the North American side. He went all the way through the losers bracket. I don't think we saw anybody go into the losers bracket. I believe he was in the second round, and he battled all the way to the finals, and almost beat Miniminter. Brought him to the last, beat him in the one best of 5, and then ended up losing in the last best of 5. So I'm excited to see what craaaap can do. A lot of people bring up that North America might be the I guess the least, not the worst of the region skill-wise. I don't know if that's true, though. I'm excited to see what happens. Not the easiest first match, but I like what he's doing with going with Graveyard. We've seen that Egor, a lot of Egor's decks kind of struggle with Graveyard. They don't usually have counters. It's weird that Egor is using a Rocket in this deck. Usually,
What's up?
Yo, what's up? I did not realize that you guys could talk when you subbed. I didn't realize my little bot talked for you guys. So with 30 seconds left, I think craaaap can win this. I don't know if he has enough. He's going to have to defend. Snowball doesn't go onto the Spear Goblins. Oh, no. That's a huge misplay. Poison comes in. That's not enough. Rocket's going to come in. Maybe he can get to one more Graveyard with 15 seconds left, but it's not going to be a good one. It's not going to have the Mega Knight. It's not going to be able to get supported correctly. Miners on tower. Snowball does go onto the Spear Goblins that time, but that's not going to be enough. Wow. Interesting that we saw the change with Rocket instead of Earthquake, but still somehow able to defend and make it look so easy. I've played this deck before, and especially having Earthquake just in case, you know, the Graveyard gets out of hand playing on defense, it works. But I'm going to see what's going on with the music because it seems very, very weird. Let me just confirm that it's not me. I might... next match will have sound. This match we won't be able to fix it. Okay. So now in the next match, we should have sound, which is going to be so important. Watching Clash Royale without sound, I need it. I need the sound. I need the mini P.E.K.K.A coming down and yelling pancakes at me. Also, so Sanity, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Cash fam. I guess before I started off, I didn't really say my little spiel. What is that little black thing up there? Is that... Oh, it's my... I should fix it. Why is Benny there? I think Benny is co-casting right now with Ruvolamir. They're all part of the whole Team Queso house. I think that set that they're on is in the Team Queso house itself, which is insane. Is Rich streaming this or no? Rich is not going to be streaming this today. I'm going to be streaming the day 1. He's going to be streaming day 2 and day 3. Something came up last minute. Originally, I was going to co-cast with him, but he said, hey, Cash, are you able to do today? And I said, of course, I'm always ready. Get caught up with chat. If anybody said hello to everybody. Hope you're having a good Friday. Welcome to the Bren Chong Cup World Finals, day number 1. Today, we are going to get one step closer. Technically, nobody's going to get eliminated today. The bracket is kind of confusing, and I want to do my best to explain what happens. So this is the first round of the bracket. I wish they showed the bracket. Maybe I'll wait till they show the bracket to explain it real quick. But there's a lot of potential for losers to come back and battle their way up and end up winning this tournament. It's not easy, but it's possible. Is Ruben out already? Is Ruben already out? Yes, he is. He was eliminated, I believe, in the 4th round of the losers bracket to Michifu, which we're going to see today play against the winner of, I believe, this game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's a lot of really good players. If you haven't already watched all the group stages, okay, we should have music. Wait a second. We should have music. You guys hear anything? I was lied to. Do you guys hear anything? I think I'm hearing something. What a victory pose by AC though. That looks like an anime pose. I love it. Can Rich post something on YouTube to send people here? Maybe I can tell him to. I don't know what he can do on. I guess you guys have the community channel where you can bring that up. Nice to catch you live. Oh, here we go. We're good. Let's bring that down a little bit. How's the volume? More or less? How's the volume? Good, bad, ugly? 10 out of 10, would do again? So we've actually seen this matchup before, and we've seen craaaap use this deck. It's going to be Graveyard Freeze. Using Ice Wizard, probably not using the Inferno Dragon in this deck. I can't remember if this deck uses... I believe the last 3 cards are Tornado, Freeze, and Graveyard, so I'm going to go with no Inferno Dragon for AC. Using the Goblin Cage instead, maybe? Maybe going with a meta deck with a twist, and I like that. Egor's last 2 cards are going to be Hunter, and it is going to be Royal Giant, so this is going to be... It's good that AC has Goblin Cage in this matchup. Can't hear the sound. Wait, can you guys not hear it? Is that better? Is that better? A bit louder. Is this good now? More volume? More or less? What do you guys think? Is it best of 3 or best of 5? Best of 5. It is best of 5. How about now? Is that too loud? We can hear it, but it's low. What about now? Good? Perfect. Cash, is losers bracket best of 3 or best of 5? It is best of 5. But how the losers bracket works is there's going to be a losers bracket, but the losers will always, similar to the losers bracket finals, every single match in the losers bracket will be like the losers bracket finals. So the person that, I guess, lost in the previous round will have to take 2 best of 5 sets off the person that lost in the round after. So I'll do my best to explain it. It took me a little bit to understand it. So potentially there could be 2 best of 5s in a lot of these loser games, but I guess that will happen tomorrow. I think today we're just going to see the first round and we're going to see the quarterfinals. I think you're underrated caster, ABSCR. Hey, thank you so much. That means the world. I don't know if I'm just a dude that loves Clash Royale and loves talking about Clash Royale. And so far, AC has been so impressive. With I don't want to overhype AC because a lot of times when I overhype someone they lose, but I love the patience by AC, just really just slowing down the game, controlling the game, really good. The one thing I've noticed from AC, craaaap, that he's been doing really well is bridge battles. He's been able to win a lot of bridge battles. I think this is going to be a matchup where we might see a couple of bridge battles go his way. But Egor, with his deck, he has a lot of ways to deal with this graveyard. The way AC wins this is if Egor makes a mistake, and that seems like that's never going to happen. I've watched too many of Egor's games, and I haven't seen many mistakes. And even if he does make a mistake, it's not big enough to, I guess, penalize him. Activates King Tower. What a great activation. And just like that, I think AC is most likely going to lose. Royal Giant on the right side, freeze on defense. That Royal Giant will still get a bunch of damage, though. The freeze is just prolonging it. Tornado pulls it back, but look at the left side. The Giant Skeleton's already down. Zappies as well. No big spell in the hand, so you know you can stack all those units right behind the Giant Skeleton. Most likely Royal Giant on the right side. Exactly. Putting on that split lane pressure. Now AC has a lot of very high elixir units, and he's gonna have to play some on the left, some on the right, and spread out this elixir, and he won't be able to get a counter push. So right now, what Egor is doing is perfect. And it's crazy to say, similar to Mugi, where every single matchup, it seems like he's played it before. He knows what to do. Maybe it's just from experience in this game, but it seems like every single matchup. Tornado has to come in, goes with the Goblin Cage, that's fine. Probably will have to go for a Tornado as well, because you cannot afford a shot. Oh my gosh, what is going on? The Giant Skeleton is defending... The Giant Skeleton defended the Royal Giant! What a traitor! The Benedict Arnold of Clash Royale. What? Not like this. Not like this. It's not like this morning's been stressful enough. Not like this. Not like this. The body block. I've seen that happen to me once. I posted that on Twitter. Please, not like this. Not like this. I'm gonna go back a bit and maybe it'll buffer. This is the amazing play, replay, instant replay coming into you live from the queso house. So it looks like we... Hello? Pardon-moi? Pardon-moi? I'm gonna go with Egor wins next push. I'm gonna go back a second just so we can rewatch that. So AC goes in. There's no way he can win this with this push. Even if he goes in with the freeze, even if he doesn't even... Oh, it wasn't me! It wasn't me! It was from... Okay, it wasn't my fault. Woo! Yes, let's go. Go. I thought that was me. I thought that was my Wi-Fi. I thought that was me. So that is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It was a blip in the matrix. Whew. I thought that was me. I really thought that was me. So that's a good. King Nobody, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Catch Fam. And if you look at the matchup, Egor, he wins the first game, and I think that matchup was maybe a little bit in AC's favor. And you losing a matchup to Egor, especially, or losing a match that you have matchup to Egor, it's not good. It's really not good. Egor's going to be one game away from sweeping AC, and I think a lot of people expected this, but this is the problem. When Egor gets momentum, he's a defensive god. The only way you can kind of, maybe you can try to tilt Egor with getting a quick win. I think maybe going with a really off-meta deck at the beginning, maybe something like Lava Clone, and just really, I know that sounds crazy. It sounds ridiculous. Oh, wrong thing. I know it sounds ridiculous, but going with such an off-meta deck at the beginning, ooh, this is kind of cool. I'm like outside of the panel. I feel like I'm like a 3D, cash in 3D. Whoa. But going with a really crazy deck, maybe getting that first match and getting Egor a little bit tilted, maybe is the way to beat him. There's not a lot of ways. It seems like the only person that beats Egor is himself. Also, I didn't mention this, and I don't know if anybody knows about this, but there was big news. Ring the news bell. I don't have a bell here. I have a cup, so I'm gonna ring the cup. Big news. Miku, also known as Greco, is disqualified. He was disqualified. This just came in earlier today. It came to the attention of the tournament that he's only 15 and you have to be 16 to be in this tournament, to play in this tournament. So he did come third in his group, but Greco is now out because he's 15. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I look at that as being impressive. What he did, you know what? It kind of showed that he lacked the experience. The experience that of only being 15. You definitely noticed it in the finals. He dominated so well, and when we saw him in the finals, when it was big money on the line against Mugi, he was a different player. So the game volume's so low. Is that better? Volume better? Volume better? Multiple people knew he was 15, yeah, but the Bren Chong Cup did not. So who is replacing him? Great question. It is going to be KK, the person that plays fourth. And I heard the news, and I guess it was sad because I did want to see what Greco can do. Greco was a player that going into the Bren Chong Cup, I personally didn't know much about. A lot of people had him as one of the top 3 best players in Japan in Clash Royale. And if you think about that, whoa, AC, what are you doing? What is this deck? It looks like, if I had to guess the last 3 cards, it's going to be something ridiculous. It could be like Giant Graveyard. It could be something ridiculous. It reminds me of that Giant Graveyard deck, the Giant Graveyard bait deck that we see on ladder a bunch. Egor's going with the traditional cycle deck. One thing that Egor does, and you'll notice it with his deck selection, there's a core group of cards that are in every single one of his decks. Usually it's the Hunter, the Log, the Spear Goblins, the Bats, usually the Knight as well, but in this situation, Fisherman. The Knight doesn't really work with Royal Giant, so Fisherman comes in instead. Did I finish my thought on Gricko? I don't even know if I finished my thought on Gricko. Give me a sec. Sorry about this. If it's Graveyard, that's a wrap. Yeah, if it's Graveyard, it's over.
You're a legend.
Good luck casting today, Cash. You're a legend. Thank you so much. We got this. The Cash fam, we got this. I'm excited to cast it. So it looks like it is going to be Giant Graveyard. I don't know. I don't think this is just going to be Giant Beatdown. But if this is Giant Graveyard, I think this is going to be GG. I think this is going to be well played. I think Egor is probably going to most likely 3-0 AC. And that is scary for whoever has to play Egor next. An Egor with momentum. I think Egor is coming in with a little bit of a mission. He didn't win. He came in second. And no, he came in third technically. He lost to Gricko, who I think is really, really good. This is what I was saying about Gricko. People brought up him being one of the best players in Japan. Japan, if you know, is one of the strongest regions in Clash Royale. So people saying that he was a top 3 I had my speculations. He proved himself. This player, he is good. I'm excited to see him next year when he's 16 in CRL 2020. I guess maybe if he qualifies for CRL 2021. I don't know when his birthday is.
When do we find out about
Hopefully it's soon. Hopefully it's soon. When do we find out about partner? Mashed tomato, bad news. We found that out already. 2 days ago we found out, got declined again. That's for another time. We can't worry about that. We can't worry about that right now. Now it's all about the Bren Chong Cup. It's all about Bren Chong Cup, talking about the Bren Chong Cup, talking about these players in the Bren Chong Cup, and talking about this matchup next, which is one of the matchups I was most excited. Wallace, LaPoKaTi. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. But going back to Egor, Egor is a player that I talked about. I talked about a lot in the Asia region, in the regional qualifiers, and even in the group stage, where I think Egor has one priority. It's not about the money. I don't think for Egor. I think the money definitely helps, but I think he wants to win. He always wants to win, and we saw Egor lose 2 matches, one to Mugi, and the other one was to Gricko. Gricko came in second. Egor came in third, and I think part of the reason why Egor came in third was I think maybe he got a little too overconfident. He didn't give Gricko the respect, and we saw him play some very interesting matchups, not play like Egor that we usually see. And in this format, in this stage, especially with a little bit of momentum, getting 3-0 against AC, this hurts to see. This maybe would have been a better matchup at the beginning. If AC pulled this deck out in the first match, I could have saw maybe a little bit more success. But in your final match against Egor, I like that he's going Graveyard. I think that's the one weakness with Egor's deck pool is Graveyard. But the problem is, Egor's Egor. I've seen Egor win the hardest of matchups. I've seen Egor lose 2,000 HP in the first 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and come back and win a game. It's insane watching Egor play. It's cool that we're going to see more of him too. And I'm worried for whoever has to play Egor next. I believe it's Miniminter, if I'm not mistaken, or Michifu. It's one of the two. But Egor, congratulations. craaaap is not done. Now he's going to be in the loser side, and he will be playing the loser of the next round. So technically, I think Egor and AC can play again. It sucks to see this is how it starts, but Egor, I think he has something to prove. Is Egor better than Morden? That's a weird thing, and that was something I was going to bring up with Rich today if we were casting together, was because after watching, I don't know if it's too early. I don't know if it's too early to say with one tournament. Oh, thank you so much.
Morty wanted to come deliver also.
Hello, Morty. Thank you, Chewbacca. I got my coffee. My girlfriend just brought me my coffee. A little Chewbacca cheers to everybody. What's up? So I guess originally going into this tournament, my top 3 were Ruben, Morden, and Mugi in that order. Whoa! Wait a second. There's an actual cup for this. That's cool looking. That's worth $1 billion. It's the same. Do you know the rings in sports? If you win the Super Bowl or if you win the NBA Finals and they have that ring and it's just all gems, well, that's 100,000 carat gold plated something. What is this? What is going on? I didn't even know Bale or Bale was part of Team Queso. Well, this is awesome. I love it. I love it. I'm going to get off this beautiful, beautiful person. So originally going into it, it was Ruben, Morden, and Mugi were my top 3. But now after watching this Bren Chong Cup, and I know it's only one competition, and it's hard to say. Maybe someone had a bad day. Maybe someone played bad. But watching some players like Mugi and Egor, I was so impressed. And there were so many other players. Whoa, we have an instant replay. We have an instant replay. They're adding a lot to this World Finals. So we have an instant replay on the left. I don't know exactly what they're trying to showcase. It just, I guess, how bad this matchup was for AC. Having to use a snowball, I don't know. The problem is you just can't get damage. And if you can't get damage in Clash Royale, you just lose. Where Egor has a more consistent way to get damage. I like that Egor didn't use his big spell. He realized, like, there's never going to be value for this big spell. Let's cycle my fisherman, get multiple fishermen. Let's get more logs, get more damage that way. And it's easy win. Easy win. I guess they're just showing close off. Fireball to close it out. GG, well played. That sucks. And that's a problem, a big criticism right now with Clash Royale is how matchup dependent it could be in certain times. But I think you can put a lot of the blame onto, not the blame, but you can put a lot of the responsibility on the player to pick that, to select that deck, to pick that deck that you think could put yourself in the best position to succeed against another player. So looking at their deck pool, looking at what bans are made, kind of banning a card to put your opponent onto a certain archetype maybe, and then trying to counter that archetype. I think that's going to be a huge, I guess, part of CRL 2021 with this solo format. I think players that get analysts as well and get that support team behind them is going to be really, really important going for even just in through the entire competitive scene of 2021 in Clash Royale. It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. But what do you guys think? Who do you guys have as your top 3? Your top 3, who do you guys have? Because for me right now, after watching the Bren Chong Cup, I think I really have to think about who I think is the best. And after watching Mugi play, it seems like he's a different player than he was. He's more experienced. He learned from his failures in the CRL East and CRL World Finals of last year. Mugi has been amazing. Samuel Bassotto, Caesar, I was going to say the exact same person. Samuel Bassotto, another person that had a very underwhelming CRL World... no, he didn't even make it to the World Finals. So this is exactly how the bracket works. This is exactly how the bracket worked. But in the losers bracket, it's a double best of 5 potentially. So craaaap, he is going to be playing the loser of... I don't think this bracket's correct. I'm pretty sure... No, it should be fine. It's just shifted a little bit. So the player that loses between Michifu and Egor is going to fall down to AC. And AC is going to have to beat Egor or Michifu twice in 2 best of 5s to go through. This is... Right now, craaaap is in the worst situation possible. Not only are you in the losers bracket where the potential of you winning is totally not heavily favored for you, but you're also going to be playing against a player that you potentially already lost to, or a player that is number 1 in their group. And the reason they were number 1 is because they were absolute god tier in the regional finals. I don't know if the losers bracket, it seems like it seems like you're already in the abyss. You're in the underworld. Getting out of there, and if someone does get out of there, they truly deserve it. That was part of the reason why I was so impressed with craaaap, was he was in the second round, fell to the losers bracket, battled his way out, and got all the way to the finals, played against Miniminter, took a set off him, but ended up losing the second one. But still is in the world finals because of that, I guess, determination, that never give up, that tenacity that he has in him. So if anybody can do it, it's craaaap, but he's going to have to take a step back, think about what cards, think about his deck, think about his opponent, watch the matches that his opponent plays. If he's going to go up against Egor, you got a little bit of games to kind of feel him out. So maybe... It's hard to talk about Egor losing, though. I haven't seen it happen many times. I've seen it happen twice against Mugi and against Greco. It's hard. It's truly hard to talk about Egor losing. And going up against Michifu, this is going to be an example of an unstoppable force meet an immovable object. Because I was saying this before. My top 2 players, Ruben and Morden. Who knocked out Ruben and Morden? Michifu. Michifu's the reason Morden was in the lower bracket. I think Morden versus Ruben. Ruben knocked out Morden, and then Michifu played against Ruben, and Michifu won. Michifu is, we talk about great players, and how can we not talk about Michifu? Everybody talks about Ruben, everybody talks about Morden, but how are we not talking about Michifu if he was the one that made it so Morden and Ruben aren't here in playing today? It's hard. The whole rankings, I think, in 2021 in Clash Royale is going to shift a lot. My number one right now, and I think this is the first time I'm going to say it, is Mugi. I think Mugi is the player. When I was looking at who's playing today, I saw that Mugi was playing. I kind of assumed he was playing, but just in case, I didn't know exactly how it was going to be set up today. A little smile came on my face because whenever I watch Mugi play, it is awesome to see. And one thing I'm also very excited for today is seeing the different metas of the different regions kind of come together. We saw a lot of different decks, a lot of different archetypes be present in different regions, where we see in Latin America a lot of players. It's weird that we're seeing Wallace use this Magic Archer Tornado Wall Breakers version. This is a version that we saw a lot in the Asia region. We saw Elsiop use this deck a lot. We saw Mugi use this deck a lot. So it's weird that Wallace, a LATAM player, is kind of taking a little bit of the Asia meta. Maybe watched a little bit of the footage, saw what they did, and was like, ooh, this is a cool deck. I'm going to take it. LaPoKaTi using the more traditional Wall Breakers. Last card is going to be Bomb Tower. This is a matchup that is very, very good for the Tornado player if you can play it correctly. If you can get value with your Tornado, if you can activate King Tower early, which I guess Wallace hasn't been able to do, which is not fun, but getting this Magic Archer and getting value with this Magic Archer is the difference between winning and losing. But LaPoKaTi's not the type of player. If I know that, I know for a fact Lapkens, also known as LaPoKaTi, knows that he has to probably fireball that Magic Archer every single time it comes down. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Going back to the talking about the regions meta, in the LATAM side, we saw a lot of P.E.K.K.A. We saw a lot of P.E.K.K.A. Ramrider. We saw a lot of P.E.K.K.A. Graveyard. In the Asia side, we saw, I guess I don't really know what we saw that was super unique in the Asia side. Asia was pretty meta. We just saw a lot of Graveyard. A lot of Graveyard and a lot of Lava Hound. Pretty much. And then in the Europe side, there's one deck that I'm very excited to see. And I wouldn't be surprised if LaPoKaTi pulls it out today, or even just in this set. And the deck is the Wall Breakers Goblin Barrel deck. I think everybody has at least seen this deck once. A lot of people played it. Morden and Michifu kind of had a mirror matchup, which I think was the end of Morden. I think that was the last match we saw Morden in. It has Bandit, it has Cannon Card, it has Hunter. It either has Royal Delivery or it has Log. It is such a cool... It's such a cool deck. On paper, it kind of gives me a little bit of cringe because it doesn't seem like it works, but I'm excited to see what decks come out. Miner comes in. This should be an easy defense. Spear Goblin's up high. Log comes in. That's going to be an easy cleanup. And now, if you're Wallace, all you got to do is go with the Miner. Doesn't get picked up. Does get picked up. No big spell. So you know what? There is a chance. I'm surprised LaPoKaTi didn't over-defend there. If he over-defended, played the Knight as well, in this situation, your health on that tower is your biggest resource, which is obvious. But at the same time, Fireball, oh my gosh, LaPoKaTi got it. All he needs is one more Miner, one more Log, one more something. Bomb Tower comes down, he doesn't have Log, he needs something else. Miner comes in, does he pick it up? Miner up high. LaPoKaTi stole that, and that was the problem. That was the problem. No big spell for Wallace. Sure, he had that lead. He had that 400 HP lead going into Triple Elixir. But not having that big spell, where just LaPoKaTi can go Miner, go Fireball, go Log, and we just saw that difference in HP just shift instantly. We're going to see games like that nonstop. Today, tomorrow, and the next day. Games that come out from just one little misplay. The smallest of micro plays is going to be the difference between winning and losing. Whoever wins the Bren Chong Cup has to be at least talked about in everybody's best of top 5. Because whoever wins this Bren Chong Cup is more deserving than any player. I have the stinger. I forgot I set this up. How cool is that? Look at me. Pro streamer Cashman. I totally forgot I set that up. Also, everybody, I haven't really been talking to chat much. Drift Gaming, what's up, man? How you doing? What's up? Gus the Goat, how you doing today? So Pro, what's good? Lapo OP. Lapo is, I guess I'm a little selfish for saying this, but I would love to see LaPoKaTi go up against Egor. 2 players that play together, they're teammates, they're friends. I would love to see it. That would be, if I could say, if I could see any matchup, it would be, it's weird that Igor's involved with all of them, but I would love to see Egor and Mugi rematch, because the only person that's in the competition that beat Egor is Mugi. So I think he's got a little bit of fire, a little bit of revenge there. Another person I would love to see is LaPoKaTi versus Egor. Two friends, two partners battling it out. They have very similar play styles, and I'd love to see just who has that edge in a best of 5. I think every game would come down to maybe, is it crazy to say, 100 HP every single game going to the 5th and final game? I would love to watch it. That's probably going to be the craziest matchup. But another matchup that would be really cool is Samuel Bassotto versus LaPikati. Two players that play on SSG. Speaking of SSG, yo, what's up, GodRF? How you doing? What's up, what's up, what's up? How you enjoying the Bren Chong Cup? Let's go into... I keep missing the stinger, but... So LaPikati, we have seen him go Lava Minor a couple of times. Especially, it's weird because LaPikati went Lava Minor when Minor was banned. Look at Wallace, Lava Minor, but instead of going with Minor, he went with, I think he added another air card, adding in the Baby Dragon or something. It was a very, very weird deck composition-wise, but that's what LaPikati does. I don't think that was a mistake. I think he tries to play sometimes very weird decks. Not the same as Egor, where Egor has this core set of cards that are in all of his decks. So Wallace going with Mega Knight Graveyard, another deck that's been very popular in the LATAM region. I barely saw this in any other region though. So maybe you're going to catch LaPikati off guard. Mega Knight does get a shot, no shot. It's going to be enough on defense. And so far, clean defense off the bat for LaPikati. It looks like we're going to have Graveyard versus Graveyard. I love that the Zappies are making an appearance in this deck. I think Zappies are slowly becoming one of my favorite cards in Clash Royale. I want to say that they're underrated, but I don't know if I can say that just because how much we've seen them in the Bren Chong Cup and how much success we've seen with these Zappy decks. Last two cards are probably going to be a big spell. We've seen a lot of Fireball. Most likely it's going to be Poison in this deck. And then the Graveyard. And for Wallace, his last cards are going to be Electro Wizard, a big spell, which is most likely going to be Poison, and then the Graveyard as well. So this is going to be an interesting matchup, a very interesting matchup. I think this is pretty much straight down the middle if you're saying who's going to win, who's going to lose. I can see one problem being this Fisherman. If this Fisherman gets too much value, pulling away LaPikati's units, especially if he plays the Knight to tank for or to pick up the Mega Knight. Well, if that gets pulled away, then maybe the Mega Knight jumps on this Zappies, and that's when you start making a little bit of misplays. That's when it snowballs, and that's when if you make that many misplays, especially against Wallace. Wallace is another player that has been so good. I was so baffled to see Wallace, how he finished. He was a player that was so dominant in the group stage, almost going undefeated, and then just brought that momentum throughout the entirety of the regional finals. Wallace, oh, he's been so impressive. I thought he was a player. I kind of hated Wallace going into this. I hated Wallace because he was part of the reason why SSG, I'm a content creator for SSG. He's part of the reason why SSG wasn't in the World Finals. He played really, really good at the end of CRL. And maybe I was doing that traditional thing where it's like, it's just luck. He got lucky matchups, the traditional thing that people do in Clash Royale. I was skeptical again. I was skeptical about LaPoKaTi, and now he's proved them. He's proved himself. LaPoKaTi, or not LaPoKaTi, Wallace he's legit. Let's see how we defend this. It may be not going in with the Poison here on defense, just focusing on using the Poison on offense, doing exactly what LaPoKaTi is doing right now, using the Poison to deal with the supporting troops so there's no counter push. This is a lot of times what you want to do in these matchups. So Graveyard most likely coming down the left. Graveyard coming down the left. Graveyard coming in a little bit late. I wonder what he was waiting for. Zappies on the back are going to be fine. You can't get rid of them instantly, so that's not going to be a bad defense at all. I'm surprised Wallace saved his Poison and didn't use the Poison, because there was value there. Getting the tower, getting the Zappies, I think would have been a good, I guess, trade for him. And now we're seeing a little Knight, we're seeing a Knight Graveyard push on the right side. That's an interesting play by LaPoKaTi, and it might turn out. He gets a little, he baits out the Poison, he gets out the Hunter. I don't know why doing that, though, is the play. You know this is going to be a one-tower game, so focusing on one tower, maybe he doesn't want to plan through the same lane as this Mega Knight. He doesn't want Wallace to be able to get these big pushes where he gets the Fisherman, the Hunter behind it, the Mega Knight behind it, and the Graveyard to support it. So a lot of damage coming in from Wallace, and Wallace is winning on the right side. So LaPoKaTi has to figure something out really quickly, but we've seen him do this time and time again, even in Graveyard matchups where it seems like it's just both towers kind of trickle down, and whoever has the lead at this point most likely wins. I never count out LaPoKaTi. Never count it out. He will figure out a way, if anybody, to win this game. Hopefully he doesn't go defensive Poison here. I don't think that's the play. He does go defensive Poison. You know what? In this situation, Baby Dragon on tower. Baby Dragon on tower. Look at the top. Mega Knight got the hit! GG, well played. Wow! Mega Knight. Absolute game changer in that matchup. It's crazy to think. I would have loved to see what would happen there. Just that alternate reality. If the Musketeer was played one tile to the left, the Mega Knight didn't get the jump on the tower, and maybe we could have saw LaPoKaTi clutch that up. But don't count out Wallace. People have talked so highly about LaPoKaTi, me being one of them. But Wallace has been a player that has put in the work, and it shows. It's been showing since the regional finals, the group stages, and CRL East, and CRL World Finals last season. So he's a player that I think another one similar to Egor, which he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy with how the regional finals ended. I think Wallace went into it thinking, I want first. I'm going to win this. I'm going to be the winner. I want number 1. And he ended up getting number 3. And for a player like Wallace, who he had a really, really close set against StangSand, ended up going to the loser's bracket, playing against the hot Samuel Bassotto, and then losing in the loser's bracket, must have left him with a bad taste in his mouth. It must have, because there's going to be a lot of players that I think that came in second and third in these regional finals, like Egor, like Wallace, like StangSand. I'm excited to see StangSand play as well today. There's one player as well that I'm excited to see is Sohrob. Sohrob's another player that he came in second. He came in third technically, and I think a lot of people are underestimating the power of Sohrob. I'm excited to see him play as well. Basically, I'm excited to see everybody play. Is there anybody that you guys want to see? Is there any player that you guys are like, yo, this guy is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see this person. I can't wait to see that person. I want to see these two people play against each other. I think this guy's the best. I think this guy's the best. Let's get them going, and let's see who wins. Mugi, I assume so. KK. I'm excited to see KK as well, because KK, it's going to be weird, because today, he was subbed in as a last-minute substitution. So a lot of people are like, whoa, last-minute substitution. He wasn't preparing for this. What is he going to do? He didn't prepare. He doesn't even know who he's playing against. It doesn't matter. I know for a fact, KK has that clutchness in him. KK has that grind in him. Even though he wasn't in the World Finals originally, he's been putting in the work. He's the type of player that always puts in the work. You see him grinding on ladder all the time. You see him all the time in top ladder. You see him in TV Royale. He's a grinder, and I love that about KK. I can't remember how someone explained KK. I can't remember if it was basketball terms or what it was, but I think KK might be the most underrated good player in Clash Royale. He just doesn't get the respect. So Lapo going with Hog EQ, and it looks like Wallace. Is he going to go Electro Giant? Is it Electro Giant? It's probably going to be Electro Giant. It might be Splash Yard, and if it's Splash Yard, this should be Wallace's game to win. But I'm excited because I've never seen Hog EQ win this matchup before. I hope it's Splash Yard. But it most likely will be Electro Giant. We saw Wallace. It is Splash Yard. Nice. So I have never seen the Hog EQ player win. I've seen this matchup probably 15, 16 times, and we've seen it close. We've seen the Hog EQ player get maybe one Earthquake away from winning, but one Earthquake is not enough. And the reason why this matchup's so hard is because the Hog player can never get a Hog on tower. You're basically hoping that Wallace can make a mistake, because if you go in with your Hog, your opponent has two options: using the Tornado to pulling it to tower, which I personally think is the stupidest interaction in Clash Royale and has to be fixed. I don't think you should be able to totally counter a Hog with a Tornado. That's just a personal thing, but that's maybe we're going too deep into this. Or your opponent uses the bomb tower, and even if you Earthquake the bomb tower, the Hog will not get a shot. So this is going to be a matchup where it's all about LaPoKaTi's defense and just Earthquake. It's good to go Hog on the opposite lane. So right now, it looks like he's Earthquaking the right side. It's good to go Hog on the opposite lane just to pull out Elixir so your opponent can't do a big push, but Earthquakes comes in. If anybody can win this matchup, I think it's LaPoKaTi, and I'm excited to see it. Wallace one-trick Splash Yard on ladder. Does he? That's awesome. That is awesome. So this is the best of the best. We didn't see him play too much Splash Yard. We didn't see... It's weird that Wallace didn't play so much Splash Yard. Maybe he was saving decks. Maybe he was confident with himself and knew that he had a diverse... We've seen him play so many decks. Archetypes from Balloon to Cycle, Minor Wallbreaker Cycle, to Lava Hound, to Graveyard. We've seen Wallace play pretty much every archetype, similar to a lot of players in this I guess stage of the competition. All the players that are left, you can't one-trick your way to the World Finals of the Bren Chong Cup. But going back to this matchup, it looks right now really good for LaPoKaTi. But now that we're into double elixir, now that we're getting deeper into double elixir, let's see what happens. If one hog gets on tower, I think LaPoKaTi will potentially win this. Does get a good, perfect tornado pull, which I still think is a ridiculous interaction. And most likely we're going to see another graveyard come down from Wallace. And if we do get the triple elixir, it's going to be more and more and more graveyards coming down. I like what LaPoKaTi's doing though with these hogs. While he's defending, he sets up with the bomb tower, with the archers, with the knight. And while he feels confident with his defense, that's when he goes in with a hog. And sometimes it either screws with Wallace's offense a little bit, it catches him off guard, and he also has to spend elixir on defense that Wallace can't use on offense. So let's see, this is all about how he defends this graveyard. So skeletons in, log in early. Usually we see the log after the archers are dealt with, but it looks like there's no way to deal with the archers. That's going to be a really clean interaction. And right now, LaPoKaTi is in a good situation, but we've been here before. It's not about being in a good situation, it's about winning this match. And until I see LaPoKaTi win this match, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to give the caster curse. Archers at the back, poison most likely coming in. A little bit of lag, poison comes in, but the archers, they can survive 4 ticks in that poison, dealing with more skeletons. Does he go with a late log? He has to. No, he does not. He's fine. Knight gets taken out, the last skeleton, that last little
H,
Larry.
I absolutely adore your commentary. People in
turn that
chat
down a
saying you
little
should
bit.
do it less don't know what they're talking about. Much love.
Saying you should do it less because you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, hey, thank you so much. I just talk. Sometimes I'm right with what I say. Sometimes I'm wrong with what I'm said. For the most part, though, I just like I like talking, having fun. I think there's a little bit of merit, but at the same time, the level of pro players, there's a lot of times where I see a pro player, I say they should probably do this, they do something else, and I'm like, whoa, that's even a better idea. I didn't even think about this. All we need is one earthquake. We've been here before, though. Poison comes in, does earthquake come down? No, Ice Wizard's on tower! And again, 100 HP for the Hog EQ player. It seems like every single time, the closest we've ever seen this match go is 100 HP. Never, and I mean ever, that's number at least 16 or 17 times that I've seen this matchup in this tournament alone. Not including ladder, not including watching Drexen's stream, not including watching other YouTube content creation, whatever it is. That matchup is ridiculously hard, and kudos to Lapkens, LaPoKaTi for doing that. This matchup is always close. Sam, facts. It is ridiculous. And look at the matchup. It's crazy that we've seen that matchup change. I think last time we saw that it was 71-29. So it seems like it's going a little bit more in favor of Hog EQ. You got to remember it's taking a big sample size. Technically 2,078 samples, total sample size. So that's high ladder, mid ladder, everything in between. 11 EQs. And if he got to the 12th, he would have won. All he needed was one more. That's how you win that matchup. I think Wallace played it pretty much perfectly. He never overcommitted. He never overcommitted on offense where he wasn't able to defend on defense. He always had the right tools on defense, either having the bomb tower or the tornado every single time. We saw a couple of times that people in the past, we saw people sometimes over defend where they make a mistake where they play, I guess, the bomb tower and the tornado in the same defense, and that's when we saw the splash yard player kind of struggle because then their whole cycle was messed up. Lapo is Jason Tatum. I think that's a great example. Wait, someone said something about Wallace. DeMar DeRozan, solid player, consistent, always competes and undervalued. Quan, I think that is literally exact. I totally agree. I totally agree with that. You're speaking my language. Basketball. That's my second love. I think Clash Royale's kind of pushed basketball out of the way. The fact that when I'm at nighttime, sometimes I watch Drexen's stream or just Clash Royale content or Morden's YouTube video or Bosses or whoever I want. Sometimes I pick Clash Royale over NBA basketball, and I don't think that's always been a thing. It's crazy. Cashy Rock, once my month with Morden is up, I'm throwing you my Twitch Prime sub. Yo, Cinnamon, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. That means the world. And I hope you guys are having a good Friday. I think I can't think of a better way to start off. I guess this is the first weekend in February, right? Does anything happen in February? Is there like a holiday? Is Valentine's Day in February? No, that's April, right? That's April, I believe. Can I show the bracket? No, we are going into the next game right now, February 14th. Valentine's Day is February 14th? Oh, shoot, I gotta figure that out. I guess I gotta get on that. What's a good Valentine's Day gift, guys? Give me something good. I thought it was April 14th. That's not good. That's a bad sign. Oh, hopefully my girlfriend didn't hear that because that could be awkward. Oh, it's President's Day in February? Well, that's the real celebration. That's what we truly should be celebrating. Valentine's Day is overrated. So Wallace going with it looks like it looks like it's going to be Balloon. But it's weird. This is looking like a weird deck. It looks like Royal Giant Skeleton with the Zappies, but it also the Giant Skeleton and the Ice Wizard kind of reminds me of Balloon. What is this deck? We got Lapkens on the bottom. He's going double Prince Graveyard. Double Prince Graveyard instead of Hunter using Archers. This deck is so fun. The last 3 cards are Graveyard, Poison, and Snowball. This deck is such a fun deck that LaPoKaTi is using. I've been using it a lot ever since I saw it in the Bren Chong Cup, and I've been having so much fun playing it. So much fun. Is Wallace using Hog? I think he's using Hog EQ. If I'm not mistaken, Wallace is using Hog EQ. I've seen this deck before, I believe, on Drexen's stream in Top Ladder. It was a deck that was popular a while back. It's Royal Hogs. He's using Royal Hogs. Okay, good to know. Interesting deck. I really like this deck. On I guess for the air side, having the I'm assuming the last 2 cards are going to be Tornado, because whenever you see Ice Wizard, you usually see it with Tornado. And if the last card is Royal Hogs, I like the whole idea of this deck. On defense, it seems really good, having the Bomb Tower, having the Tornado, and the Ice Wizard combination. The Zappies, I think, are one of the most powerful cards on defense, and we're seeing them in both decks, which is really, really cool. And then the Giant Skeleton, just the potential of bridge blocking, just being a very annoying unit to if you stay same lane against it, could get really, really annoying. Problem is that Lapo, he does have an okay amount of ways to deal with Royal Hogs, but I think the reason we haven't seen Wallace use his Royal Hogs, his last card, is because I think he feels confident with this matchup. Dark Prince, let's say, Dark Prince is really good at dealing with Royal Hogs, really good. He has Snowball as well, but he doesn't have that big spell. Also, doesn't have Hunter. He has Archers. Archers aren't that good at dealing with Royal Hogs. Barbarrel isn't that great at dealing with Royal Hogs. Fireball is the best card. Hunters are a little bit better. Dark Prince is really good. I think all Wallace has to do right now is doing exactly what he does. Defending, using these Earthquakes to help clean up the graveyards, and just keep doing what he's doing. Keep doing what he's doing, and I think Wallace, once we go into Double Elixir, now that we're in Double Elixir, especially when we go into Triple Elixir, I think he's going to go, there it is, Royal Hogs come in, Archers come in, going to go with Snowball, but still, and he has to go with Barbarrel, so a little bit of an overcommit, Earthquake comes in, a little bit of chip, and we're going to see the true win condition in this deck. A lot of people were saying, hey, if you look at this deck, I'll be like, hey, what's a little test? What's the win condition in Wallace's deck? And a lot of people will be like, Royal Hogs, of course. I disagree. Wait, isn't that a thing from Uncut Gems? I disagree. I can't do it. I can't do accents. I was trying to do Adam Sandler's accent in Uncut Gems. But I think the win condition in this deck is truly the Earthquake. We'll see if the Royal Hog can do a lot of damage here. Snowball comes in. Dark Prince is in hand, so Dark Prince is really good at dealing with all this. Ice Wizard's getting a little bit of splash damage on that tower, which is going to add up. I can see now Wallace maybe going Earthquake Cycle on the left side, just focusing on these defenses. Graveyard does he have anything for this Graveyard? Is he gonna have to go Earthquake on defense here as well? Or Tornado? What's the last card? That's gonna be too much damage. Wallace took way too much damage there. So Royal Hogs on the right. We got a little push with an Ice Wizard Zappy on the left, which is going to be pretty insignificant. And this looks like it's going to be a pretty easy defense. Snowball comes in, and I like that he over-defended there a little bit. Going in with the Snowball, just making sure he takes the absolute minimal amount of damage. Not like what Wallace is. What's Wallace's last card? I thought it would be Tornado. Is there a chance that Wallace used a card that was banned? That doesn't seem possible. This deck doesn't look like it would have either a Miner or a Hunter in it. It seems like it would be Tornado, and maybe I guess just Tornado doesn't get a lot of value. I'm surprised we didn't see him play it at the end, though. Lag. Is there lag? Are you guys... Is my stream quality bad? Oh, no. What is going on? Am I, I don't know if I'm back. I don't know why that was so bad. My bitrate is still really, really good. It says my quality's good. I should be fine. I don't know what happened there. We back. Good, good. I think we should be good now. We're good. 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 That kind of ruined the ending to that game. Rewind time for sure. For sure. Let's go back to, I think we were about, no, we were, yeah, this is, no, let's go a little bit further. This is where he over-defends on defense. So we were about right here. So this is what happens. So Graveyard comes in, really clean defense. I kind of saw it at the corner of my eye, but I was trying to figure out if something was going on wrong with my stream, and this counter push is devastating. Watch this. Watch what happens here. So I'm still confused about what... I love that. Royal Hogs at the back. A lot of people feel like they have to play Royal Hogs at the bridge. Zappy's up high. It's going to slow the attack speed of the Archer and the Prince as well. Hogs get on tower a little bit, and the last card was Tornado. And what we're going to see is probably more Royal Hogs come in. More Royal Hogs come in, and there they are. Another set, and now you have nothing to defend. You can use, you can use Ice Wizard, you can use the log to help defend this graveyard. Defends it perfectly. Hogs on tower, and that's just confidence of knowing what to do in that situation. Knowing how much damage your opponent's push is going to do, and knowing that your push will deal a little bit more damage and the exact amount of damage needed to win. So that was really, that just shows the confidence in Wallace. That shows that he's been playing this game. That shows he's been playing a lot of decks. He knows the interaction. He knows the damage. He knows exactly how much he has to defend, and not that you're too biased against Wallace. Who, me? I think he played that really well. I think he played that really, really well. That was a really clutch performance, I think, from Wallace, and that's not the first time we've seen that. We've seen matchups that were 80-20, where Wallace should not have won that matchup. I wonder what it's showing off right now. Snowball comes in, pushes the baby dragon, and it looks like just the baby dragon doesn't clean up the graveyard perfectly. It's probably going to show the Mega Knight. I want to see that last push. Yo, Cash, your stream is on fire. Is it literally on fire? Is that why it's lagging? Is that why? Wallace is certainly top 7 in the world. Very specific top 7. I'm assuming you mean 7th in your ranking. I think he can easily be top 5 in mine, depending on how this Bren Chong Cup goes. Every time I'm definitely been a little harder on Wallace, but every time he's just impressed me every single time. We've seen him in the group stage matchups that were 80-20, matchups that they were behind and there was no way for him to win, somehow tying it up, bringing it to a 2-tower situation and winning. Look at the left side here. So what was on? That's probably not going to be enough. Defensive poison, Barb. It would have been GG well played anyways. KK versus Mateja. Oh. Lillard versus Devin Booker. Lillard. That's what someone described KK as, was Lillard. And I think that's the perfect player to, I guess, compare KK to in basketball. Sohrob is next. Mateja internet issues. Mateja has internet issues? That is not good, because you are already playing against the best of the best. Having the smallest little hiccup, either being a misplay or a matchup, can already put you in a situation where you just lose. You don't want your fate to be determined by Wi-Fi. We saw that Egor lost the game against Gricko, I believe. Part of the reason why Egor wasn't third was because he lost the game. No, I think it was to Mugi. It was to Mugi, where we saw Egor in 2 games have a lot of Wi-Fi issues, where there was situations where he could play a card and he just didn't. He didn't play a card, and he ended up losing a game. And losing one game in a best of 5 against the best player, or one of the best players in the world in this competition, you can't do. Let's go to, it looks like we're looking at the bracket right now. Wallace versus Mini. That is going to be insane. It's awesome because if you look at round 1, we're watching all of round 1 in the grand finals, or in the winner's bracket, and we're going to watch all of round 2 today. So we're going to see Bassotto play against either KK or Mateja, and we're going to see Sohrob. Oh my gosh, Sohrob and StangSand have to go up against Mugi. Upsets will happen. I guarantee you an upset will happen. Something will happen where we're going to look back and be like, wow, I can't believe he lost. I can't believe he won. And I'm looking at 2 players right now for upset potential, and that's Sohrob and that's Mateja. Mateja is a player that he's impressed me a lot. I actually rewatched a lot of his games in the Europe side just to get a better idea of how he's going to compete and how he's going to do in this competition in the world finals of the Bren Chong Cup. And I think he has what it takes. The one thing that I'm worried about is experience, confidence. It's a big stage, a lot of money against some of the best players in the world. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep his cool. So now let's enough talking about Mateja. We'll talk about him more when you get to him. But Sohrob is another player, super underrated. I think a lot of players that he's going to go up against, for example, StangSand here, StangSand, if you don't know the drama between StangSand and Samuel Bassotto, you gotta watch the regional finals of the LATAM side. It's Rich Lane's YouTube channel, the VOD's there. Definitely check it out. A lot of drama with StangSand and Samuel Bassotto, where I think right now we can safely say that Samuel Bassotto was the winner of that drama. Where I think StangSand could have a little bit of fire, just focusing on getting back to Samuel Desoto, getting back to #1, proving himself in this big format. And I hope he doesn't underestimate Sohrob, because Sohrob's a great player. Sohrob's a really good player, and just because he doesn't have that brand name, that experience, it looks like he's going with a graveyard deck, going with the Zappies. We've seen this deck a lot with Zappies, but it's weird that he has the Royal Delivery. Usually this deck has the Barb Barrel. So instead of maybe going with a cycle card like Skeletons, it looks like he's probably going to go with no Tornado. The last 2 cards are going to be probably Barb Barrel and Poison, and then StangSand using the exact same deck we saw Wallace beat LaPoKaTi with, and that is this Mega Knight Graveyard deck. So let's see, Graveyard versus Graveyard. Last time we saw this, the Mega Knight player did have the advantage. LATAM, they really like these Mega Knight Graveyard decks. They love these P.E.K.K.A. Graveyard decks, and it's been working so far, so we'll see if it keeps working. Can you turn the volume up a bit? Yeah, I don't know why it's so low all of a sudden. Okay, it's max on my side. How's the volume for you guys? Good, bad? What do you guys... Sohrob not playing a fast cycle deck. Yeah, Sohrob has not played a lot. Is it too good? Is it... By the way, what's the volume? Good, bad? Thumbs up, thumbs down? How is it looking? Two thumbs up? Volume more, less? Too loud? Volume good? Perfect. Perfect. So yeah, this is a very similar matchup. I think the one thing that might help Sohrob in this matchup is having this Royal Delivery. It looks like the last card's probably going to be Poison, so he doesn't have a Barb Barrel, and he opts to go with a Hunter. So he has the Hunter, the Zappy, and the Baby Dragon for air defense. So maybe thinking that StangSand was going to go Lava Hound. We've seen StangSand play a lot of Lava Hound in different Lava Miner decks. We saw him play the Lava Miner with Night Witch. We've seen him play the Lava Miner with Barbs. So I think that was maybe Sohrob going with a little bit of a prediction play there. I still think this is an okay matchup. These graveyards are coming in. He is getting damage. Baby Dragon on tower too, and that's going to be a lot of damage. Baby Dragon deals work. 3 shots, 4 shots. Does he get the 5th? The 5th shot. This Baby Dragon's MVP. 6 shots. The Baby Dragon single-handedly. Sohrob has to buy the Baby Dragon plush. If he gets far in this, it's Baby Dragon just looked at Sohrob and was like, hey, people didn't believe in us. I believe in you, Sohrob. This is the Baby Dragon talking to Sohrob. I don't know why he's talking. This Baby Dragon, for some reason, can talk. And it looks like this is what Sohrob, all he has to do right now is just one more defense. And we've seen him do this already time and time again in this matchup. So defending, not going with the poison, doesn't matter. GG, well played. Sohrob takes game number 1. And this is what I was talking about. I think StangSand might have put too much of his marbles looking at Mugi in the next round, being like, whoa, I gotta deal with Mugi. Looking at playing against a North America player in the first round, being like, oh, North America, they're not as strong. They're not as good. They're not as good as Latin America, my region. They're not as good as the Asia region or the Europe region with Ruben, Morden, and I guess now we see Michifu and Mateja and LaPikati dominating on that side. I think a lot of people are undervaluing North America, and I think it's going to be the demise of a lot of players. A lot of players. Sohrob is a good player, and I think by the end of this Bren Chong Cup, people will know the name Sohrob. I think Sohrob and Mugi, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Maybe something can happen there. I'm just saying maybe. I'm just throwing out ideas. Maybe. Sohrob's Jimmy Butler. He's got that dog. He's got that grind. I've talked to Sohrob. I know this guy. A lot of good play. He's got a little entourage. I don't know if it's his entourage, who's his true entourage, but I've talked with this guy. I've played with this guy. He's good. I've seen him play a lot. Friggin' play. Shout out to like Parker, Arresty, Wetman, all the homies, Jax as well. All these guys, they got that dog. They got that grind. They put in that work. They play the game, and they play it. They don't play it for the clout. They don't play it for the money. They play it for the love of the game. And you gotta have that passion. I don't know if everybody has that passion, and I think we see a lot of pro players either just fall down in the standings or not do as well, or just maybe start coasting because they don't have that love of the game. They gotta have that passion. You gotta have that. You gotta have that fire in you. And Sohrob's that player. He is that player. So let's get into game number 2. No bans from StangSand. I don't know if that's a good play. Sohrob looks like he's running it back. Could be a lot of decks with Zappies. A lot of decks with Zappies right now. But I think that Baby Dragon was a great addition to that deck. StangSand. Did I say StangSand? Don't really know StangSand. StangSand's a player that I knew of. He's a semi-pro player in I think it's Undead. What team does he play for? What jersey is that? I've casted a game and I thought he was a part of Undead Esports. Ooh, StangSand going with 2.6 Royal Hogs. This is going to be an awful matchup. An awful matchup. Let's see what happens, but this deck struggles against dealing with Graveyard, especially Graveyard Poison. Fireball comes in, so it's not 2.6. Going with Fireball instead of Earthquake? Or maybe going Fireball instead of Royal Delivery. Last two cards are going to be, I'm hoping Earthquake, because Royal Hogs by themselves are not as good. Earthquake is the card that you need to be able to cycle to, get more out, and that's going to be your win condition. Royal Hogs without Earthquake is the worst thing I've ever seen. Wait a second, this is yeah, it's a Royal Giant. What am I talking about? It's Royal Giant. It's Royal Giant. He's going with the Egor route, going with that core set of cards, not going with the Ewiz, going with the Spear Goblins instead. This deck's good. I'm surprised StangSand is using this. I've never seen him use this deck before. Cool. That just shows that he's been putting in the work. He's been diversifying his deck pool. He's been taking the Bren Chong Cup World Final seriously. I love that. I really love that. And I think a lot of these players that came in second or third, second like StangSand, third like Sohrob, is going to have that fire to maybe put in that extra work, stay up a little later, focus on the game, improving yourself, and taking that next step into this King of Kings jersey. Oh, it's King of Kings? Good to know. UR is Urban Gaming? Urban Gaming? In his name, it's Urban Gaming StangSand? Is that correct? I might be wrong. It's RG. Yeah, it is RG. It is RG. And this should be an okay matchup. I think this is going to be an okay matchup. He doesn't have the best answers to Graveyard, doesn't have the poison. He does have... This is the problem, though, because if Sohrob goes in, he has to have enough Elixir to go Graveyard and go Poison, because if he can't go Graveyard and Poison, it's going to be an easy defense for StangSand. But Sohrob knows that, so he's going to be patient, making sure if he goes in, now that we're into double Elixir, now that we're going to go into triple Elixir, we're going to see this is going to get very, very difficult for StangSand. I don't like that Poison. Not a big fan. This isn't going to come down to... I think these Royal Giants now... We're going to see more and more Royal Giants, and we're going to see more and more, I guess, potential big plays with StangSand. Going with Royal Giant at the back, maybe getting to another Royal Giant as well, going same lane, maybe opposite lane, but also these Fishermen. These Fishermen are going to be annoying. There's no way Sohrob doesn't have a bar barrel to take out these Fishermen, so this is where it gets annoying. Really good Royal Delivery, going to be tanking, making sure the Fisherman grabs the Royal Delivery, or the Royal Recruit from the Royal Delivery, instead of the Hunter, and he has to do that every single time. Does that seem like an overcommit? In my mind, maybe a little bit. This Royal Giant will most likely get at least one shot every single time it comes down. There's no Tornado, there's no log to push it back. This is going to be, this might be a very, very hard matchup. And now that we see this going deeper and deeper, sure, now we're in triple Elixir. This is where usually you see Graveyard do better and better and better. But now, this is where you get to see StangSand go with more Royal Giants and potentially more Fishermen and more support cards and more Spell Cycle. So this might be a little bit of a shift. We saw Sohrob dominate this entire game, but now we might see it shift a little bit. Baby Dragon doesn't lock on again. Baby Dragon locks on again. And that's GG. That's well played. Skeletons are coming in. Fireball comes in 1 second too late. I don't think it would matter. That's GG. That's well played. Sohrob goes up 2-0 against StangSand. Well played. Well played. Awesome. Drink water was redeemed, was it? Can I drink coffee instead? Why did StangSand finish second in LATAM? He played against Samuel Bassotto in the finals, and Samuel Bassotto got 2 best-of-5s off him in a dominant fashion, too. It was... If you haven't seen that regional finals in the LATAM side, please watch it. It was one of the craziest Clash Royale events I've ever seen. It was awesome. Baby Dragon's been doing a lot. Yeah, Baby Dragon. This dude on that table over there, absolute MVP for Sohrob. If Sohrob's looking at cards that he should put in his deck, when he's making a deck, before he even looks at win conditions, just throwing a Baby Dragon. It seems like Baby Dragon's got Sohrob's back today. Just putting the team on his back. Gonna have to get a massage or something after that. His back's gonna be sore. I guess we don't have to look at these two hombres right now. Also, Joe J, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Cash Fam. And Roman that's a long name. Dimakiddo K for Brawl, Slum Shady, Triffles, Docs, Craft Simp, Oasis Mafia, Joe Schmo, Dory, Frost Mario, Nowaki, Sander, Ricky, Haru, Cat. I did not know there was this many people. Everybody that followed, thank you guys so much for the follows. Welcome to the Bren Chong Cup. Hope you guys are having a good Friday. Can't think of a better way to start off the Friday than with Bren Chong Cup World Finals. $40,000 on the line. Yes, $40,000. It's a lot of money. What would you do with $40,000? It's a lot of gems. It's a lot of pass royales. That's a lot of... You could technically buy like a car. You could technically buy a car. All right, let's get into the next game. This could be the last and final game. If StangSand did not ban Graveyard, I'm going to be surprised. I'm going to be very surprised. So StangSand banning Fireball, a card that we have not seen him play yet. So StangSand, this is very predictable. He's going to go Royal Recruits, Royal Hogs. Really? Ban Fireball and not go Fireball bait? I thought maybe a mirror matchup? Did StangSand copy the deck? Okay, it's not perfect. It has Snowball. We know that Sohrob's deck doesn't have Snowball. So it looks like they're going to be similar decks. Hunter probably not going to have the Royal Delivery. Similar decks, not the same deck. But that's weird. Right now, you are playing right into Sohrob. We've seen Sohrob do so well with its deck, beat a bunch of different matchups, and now you're... I don't know if this is going to ego or confidence or disrespect. I don't know what this is going towards for StangSand, but now you're trying to play Sohrob in his own arena, in his own battle, doing exactly what this is. I don't know if he's trying to say, hey, you're doing well with this deck, but I can play it better. I don't know if that's what he's going for. Maybe I'm overlooking this. Maybe I'm reading too far into this. I just don't like that ban of Fireball. Why ban Fireball if you've seen Sohrob not use Fireball in any decks right now? I love what Sohrob's doing. We've seen so many players, most notably players like Egor, Michifu as well. There's been a KK. There's a lot of players that if they win with a deck, they play it again and they say, beat me. Here, they throw the ball to their opponent and said, hey, pick a deck, figure out a way to beat my deck. Figure out a way. This is the ball's in your court, and I love what Sohrob's doing. That's just showing the confidence that he has, and I think he's gonna be one of the players that rises to the occasion on the big stage. All the eyes on him, the money's on the line, and Baby Dragon, you know Baby Dragon, you gotta watch out for the Baby Dragon of Sohrob. So we got a little bit of a night Graveyard push here. This should be an easy defense though for StangSand. And right now StangSand is going to lose the lead, but he had the lead for a second. Very, very close game. How much HP separating? Less than 100. So this game's going to come down to inches. Really come down to inches. It's going to be all about just control, going with these graveyards, and I think the best thing to do are offensive poisons. Defending with your units, exactly what we're seeing here. Maybe using something else. Baby Dragon's not perfect. Actually, no, you know what? The Zappies are going to help out. That's really, really good. And now going with offensive poisons. That's exactly what you want to do. Make sure your opponent doesn't have a counter push, and not only that, but chip away at your opponent's tower, because this game's probably going to be about maybe 100, 200, 300 HP difference at the end. Will a tower go down? Maybe, but it's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close. So going in with those graveyards, going in with those offensive poisons, taking out your opponent's units is going to be crucial. Royal Delivery up high, Hunter on defense, and now we're seeing the offensive poisons come in for StangSand, which is going to deal with the Zappies. It's going to deal with the Hunter. Maybe a little bit of an overcommit there, though. Maybe a little bit. Now, most likely graveyard, most likely poison. Goes with just with the poison. Okay. He has the lead. He's going to keep the lead. Probably going to reset here. Has the elixir lead as well. Has the HP lead as well. So this is a good situation for Sohrob, but now we have to figure out, does Sohrob have that clutchness that we've seen so many players have? Players like Wallace, players like LaPoKaTi, players like Mugi, players like KK, players like Egor. We got to see if he has a lot of the experienced players. You realize the experience comes in these dying moments. You see, part of the reason why I think so highly of Morden and Ruben is because they figure out a way to win. Baby Dragon on tower. Oh no, Sohrob. His own love, the Baby Dragon, coming in and getting a lot of damage, taking the lead right now for StangSand. And he's saying, wow, Vaya is oops. I think it's oops. I think it might be oops. I can't remember. So not a lot of damage coming in. Doesn't have the poison to come down. And this is where it looks like Sohrob's losing. He's losing this game a bit. He's losing the hold he had on this game. He was dominating from the early minutes of this game. And now we're seeing him slowly losing it. Just a little bit of misplays adding up. A lot of damage coming in, and just like that, loses the lead. The distance get a little bit further, and now he's got to figure out a way to win. Going in with this graveyard, I don't think is the way. He doesn't have a big push. He doesn't have anything, but he's in a situation where he has to figure out something. He has to do something desperate, and this is a play. These are plays that I saw Mateja do a lot as well. These players that are not as experienced, that aren't in CRL, that don't have that clout. Oh my gosh, does he actually get this? Poison comes in. All he needs is one lucky skeleton. One lucky skeleton at the bottom. That's all he needs. There he is! Oh, the Zappy killed it! No! That was it. Snowball comes in. That was it. You guys saw him, right? You saw that little Larry come out. He was one tile away from the tower. One tile away. That came down to just pure RNG. Pure RNG, and sadly, we saw Sohrob roll the die. He said, hey, I'm rolling it. Give me that snake eyes. Didn't get the snake eyes. Did not get the snake eyes. RIP. That was a very, very good game by StangSand. I love the clutchness that StangSand had. I love that he was down the entire game, figured out a way to win, and then ended up winning it. Sohrob, very, very close. I knew that game was going to be close. I didn't think it was going to be that close. What was that, 34 HP difference? So really, really close game, really, really good game. And now this is where the momentum, it starts shifting a little bit. Sohrob had that confidence playing that one deck. I wonder if Sohrob plays it back just because of how close that matchup was. I could see a total mirror. I could see that exact same match go up again. What was your reaction against Miku? The fact that he's 15 and he got disqualified, or the fact that he's just been an absolute force as a 15-year-old in the Asia region, which I thought was the strongest region. Miku impressed me more than any player, I think, in the Bren Chong Cup. He was a player that I did not have high hopes for. A lot of people talked very highly about him, but I don't like to hop on the hype train. I like to use the eye test, which a lot of people do in sports, where just because the stats of a player is really good, a lot of times if you watch them play, they're not as good. Example is Zion Williams. I remember watching Zion Williams the first time. Everybody's like, he's the best, he's the GOAT. And I watched him. I'm like, yo, this guy can't defend. This guy is he's a moving Tonka truck on defense. He can't move left and right. He can only go forward and back. So he was a player I was skeptical of. My expectations for Greco, I guess Miku, Greco is the name he went by in this tournament, in the Bren Chong Cup. He's a player that I am. There we go. He's a player that I'm excited for. The fact that he's 15, it was sad to hear, but also so exciting to hear as well. A 15-year-old doing what he did in the biggest solo tournament in Clash Royale that we've probably seen to date. Incredible. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Miku is a she. Miku's a she? Well, I gotta look at my social biases, because that is, wow, I just kind of assumed. That is really bad on me. Miku's a her, bro. Wow, I really apologize. I just assumed. Wow, that is awesome. Incredible. My girlfriend asked me that a couple days ago. She said, hey, is there anybody in Clash Royale that's any girls that play Clash Royale? And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, other than Sia, I couldn't really, and we haven't seen a lot of Sia. She played on Wedgem, I believe. Wedgem. And we didn't see a lot of her. I don't think we saw any of her this past season or the season prior to that. I don't believe so. And even in the content creation field, I couldn't really think of any. So that's, wow, that's... No, Miku is a boy. It's... Boy or Mika's a guy? Oh my gosh, you guys are the worst. You guys are the worst. You guys are stressing me out. So it looks like we're going Sohrob's going Hog EQ, and this is a deck. Okay, we've talked so much about this deck here in the LATAM side. More than any other region, we saw this deck so much where it kind of got annoying. Players like Coca, players like StangSand, a lot of the Brazilian players use this deck, Mortar Graveyard. And it got so annoying. I think part of the reason I was so annoyed was because they played it so well. And I've played this deck before. I used this deck before. I got 7K with this deck before. But the way they played it, it made it look so easy. There was one time Coca played this deck, and it was in a best of 5, I believe? Or maybe it was a best of 3. But he played it, no, it was a best of 5. He played it every single game. And his opponent tried to counter, tried to go with counters. And every counter, which I thought was a counter, wasn't able to beat this deck. This deck just has so much outplayability, and then when I asked the chat, hey guys, what counters this deck, Mortar Graveyard? a lot of people were like, yeah, it's Hog EQ. Hog EQ with archers. And I thought, oh, okay, cool. Now we're seeing this matchup, and now we're seeing, maybe just because of a bad start for Sohrob, but we're seeing Sohrob. Looks like he's losing this. He had that 2-0 lead. Now StangSand has got that momentum. Gonna get this. Doesn't get the pull here, but Hunter's gonna make sure that only gets one shot. Hog only gets one shot on the left, and a lot of damage. But sadly, one more graveyard on the right side. One more anything on the right side. This is gonna be GG. You can probably just go graveyard poison and not even have a tank. Gonna go with the tank anyways. Really good timing with that Hog. Right when you see the graveyard come down, that's when you go with the Hog. It's not going to matter. Earthquake on defense doesn't come in time. That's GG. That's well played. Why the heck is Rob emoting so much? Maybe just because he's getting a little tilted? I thought Pandora was a she. Pandora is definitely not a she. I don't think. Wait, I don't know. This is why we need cams. This is why we need webcams. Everybody should be using webcams. I also like the webcams a lot. A lot. They're very, very fun to watch. Seeing people's reactions to certain plays, interactions. A lot of players. I think the most animated was Diego E, where he kept on doing these like head rolls, and he would like touch his face and kind of scratch his hair. Surge TS as well used a lot of the face cam. Miniminter will probably see the face cam on for him. We'll see. Because in a situation where you are so close to $40,000, maybe just turning off that face cam, focusing, just staying in your little bubble, focusing on your gameplay is what you're gonna need to just get to that next level. I gotta go to the washroom. Revolamir, hold the stream for a second. I gotta go to the washroom. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna run. Belkin and Cam's the best. He's also really funny. I just wish everybody had to use Cams. I wish. Also, Spider Stu, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Bren Chong Cup 2. It kind of, wow, that rhymed. Did we do that on purpose? Did we plan that? Maybe. I'll be right back, though. I'm just gonna go to the washroom real quick. BRB. I am back, and it looks like StangSand, we're going to see the exact same matchup. Wow, so maybe Sohrob was just disappointed with the way he played it. I'm excited to see this matchup again, because people brought up this is the deck. The deck that Sohrob is playing is the deck to beat StangSand's, I guess not StangSand's deck, but the deck that he's playing, this Mortar Graveyard deck that has been dominating so much in the Bren Chong Cup, dominating in ladder. It's a deck this deck seems just unbeatable, has so much outplayability, and I like this deck in competitive just because you don't put the decision of winning or losing on matchup. You put it more on just your gameplay, your outplayability, your micro, your macro, and everything in between. Legolas, let's go. I'm back from work. What's up, Legolas? How's it going? How was work today? Good day? I guess you're done now too. Do you work Saturday, Sunday? Or are you done? Is it freedom now for you? Awesome. Happy Friday, everybody. If you guys are done work, or if you're close to being done work, congrats. We made it through another week. It's weird that we celebrate just living. It's a weird thing that humans do, that we celebrate living, and wow, speaking of living, that tower is not living. That tower is not living. Going naked graveyard, and I think that's a great play right now. You know that Sohrob's tilted. Oh, Royal Delivery comes in, but the damage is already coming in. The distance is already done, and a couple more skeleton shots just to put a little bit more salt in the wound. Dang. Which one's the bad? Dang or dams? I won't say either of them, but it sucks to see Sohrob go off to such a good start. But maybe this is the experience. This is a situation where I was talking. I think LaPoKaTi came into the chat, and he was a player that did really well on the Europe side. I think he came in second in a group that was really stacked, and the tournament didn't go his way. there was a lot of parallels to Mugi, I thought, in CRL East, where Mugi in CRL East last season was MVP, was Rookie of the Year, got a lot of accolades, but he didn't get one, and he didn't get the cup. He didn't win CRL East. Not only that, but he went to the World Finals. A lot of confidence. I thought Honos and Mugi were going to do really, really well. They didn't do as well as they hoped. The way I looked at it is there's two things Mugi can do. He can learn from this experience, grow from this experience, and get to that next level, become a better Mugi. And Sohrob going with the lava hand. Where I brought that up with Latak, and I think I'm going to bring this, I want to bring up the same thing with Sohrob. I don't look at this as a failure. Not only that, Sohrob is now in the losers bracket, so it's not even done, but taking this experience, truly learning from this experience, learning to grow. What? Wasn't that Bale over there? Why are you guys switching spots on me? Should I get a nose ring? Should I get a nose ring like Benny? I think I could rock a nose ring. Do I have like a paperclip or something? See what it looks like? I don't think I'm getting a nose ring. Massive choke, yes. But that just goes to experience. And if he takes this experience and he learns from this experience, gets better, and maybe in the Bren Chong Cup 3 or even in CRL 2021, we'll see the next Sohrob. We'll see a better Sohrob. So are they going to show the baby dragon just being an absolute god? Why don't you show the baby dragon? It's the baby dragon. It's the baby dragon. What are you doing, lavish guy? Get out of here. Get out of here. We'll put you over here. No, just go on Benny Hoo for right now. That was the baby dragon. That was all baby dragon. That wasn't Graveyard. That wasn't Poison. That was baby dragon that did all that damage. That was a great start for Sohrob. It just sucks, the ending. It sucks. Where's the Stang BM drama on Twitter? I don't know about Twitter drama. I know there was drama though in the regional finals. So if you want to watch the regional finals, that VOD is on Rich Layden's YouTube channel. Also, all of the streams, every single one from actually, I don't think the regional finals. No, I don't think the group stage of LATAM is technically on Rich Layden's YouTube channel, but everything Bren Chong Cup English YouTube channel, Rich Layden, check it out. The stream tomorrow, day 2 and day 3 of the World Finals for the Bren Chong Cup will also be streamed live on that YouTube channel. So make sure if you've not already subscribed, not already followed, not already have that notification bell on, it's going to be at the same time tomorrow, 11. It started at 11, I believe. I think I was a little late to it. So 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will see day 2. We'll see more Clash Royale, and then eventually we'll get to day 3, and that's when we will find a winner. That's when we'll find a loser, and that's when we'll figure out who's going to win that $40,000. $40,000 of total prizes. But it sounds a lot cooler to say $40,000. You disrespecting CRL World Champ. Am I? Putting the follow thing over his face? I don't know if that's a disrespect thing. It's not like he's a god. It's not like any of these people. I don't think of anybody being above anybody else. Yeah, I think he's a great player. I think he's a nice dude as well. Makes some funny content. I wish I spoke more Spanish. I really wish I spoke more Spanish. It's like you can't say a bad word about Benny Hoo. Egor is the GOAT. Hey, he is a player that started off strong, an Egor with momentum, a player that every single time I watched him. Igor's an interesting player though, because I think the only person that can beat Egor is himself or Wi-Fi. We saw him lose to Mugi partly because of Wi-Fi, and we saw him lose to Miku/Greco, I think because of Egor. I think Egor didn't take Greco seriously. I truly don't think so. Bracket. Is that the right bracket though? Give me a sec. I can get the right, if that's not the right bracket. Oh, okay, we got the bracket here. Yes, this is not the right bracket, so give me 1 second. I will get the actual bracket. And next up, we have KK and Mateja. This is going to be this is going to be the biggest game for Mateja, at least so far in his career. I think this is going to be going to dictate everything. We might see a little bit of rest with KK. KK was a last-minute substitution because Greco was 15, which is insane. Greco is 15, so Greco was disqualified, and to replace Greco, we have KK now. And KK maybe wasn't expecting this. I think he's a player that's always ready, always grinding. He's one of the best. People talk about him like Damian Lillard, so if you know basketball, that'll give you a kind of an idea of what KK is as a player. But he's a good player. I'll tell you that. He's a very, very good player, and I'm excited to see what he does. Oh, it looks like we got the bracket right now. I can't find the bracket. Okay, I think I got it. So that's the bracket there, but during the game, if you guys want to see the bracket, boom, bang, bop, it's in chat right now. That is the bracket that you want to... I sent you the bracket. I got the bracket. I didn't beat you to it, but still. 6 times #1, carried... Oh, yeah, in ladder. Carried TL to be world champs and still dominating. Incredible. Cicer, I agree. Egor's one of those players that... he's easily in my top 5, and... just with how Ruben, I wasn't as impressed with Ruben as I was in the World Finals. In the World Finals, Ruben looked like a player that was 2 tiers above everybody else. He was playing at a level I've never seen. But the problem is, once you get that World Finals, once you get to that level, once you are the best, the problem is a lot of times you see players start coasting. They are already as high as, they are the highest, so there's nothing motivating them to get better. Well, then players like Mugi, players like Egor that didn't do well last season, they have that little bit of fire to overcome, to get better than Ruben, and I think in Michifu's situation to beat Ruben and be here instead of Ruben. So Ruben and Morden, I know Morden's been doing a lot of content creation, and both of them sadly had to try to beat Michifu, and I think Michifu has really been putting in the work. I think he's one of the most underrated players in this game right now. At least he's in the top. Looks like KK's using Fire and Ice. This is a really solid deck. Mateja's going with the Mega Knight Wall Breakers. He's going with Prince instead of... We've seen a couple of variations of this deck. We've seen Prince, we've seen Cannon Cart, we've seen Bandit, and it looks like Mateja is going with the Prince. So the last 3 cards are going to be, I believe, Arrows, if I'm not mistaken. Arrows, Minions, yeah, Minions come out, and then Mega Knight. So Snowball comes in. That's the whole reason I call this deck Fire and Ice. It's pretty much the one deck in Clash Royale that uses the Snowball and the Fireball. Last card is going to be Bomb Tower. Could be Goblin Cage, but most likely it's going to be Bomb Tower. Doesn't have Snowball here, so it goes with the high archers. That's going to be an easy cleanup. Except the archers are shooting the miner. KK's making mistakes, and this is what I brought up. Last minute substitution. Maybe wasn't prepared, wasn't ready. This was, I'm not saying, like, last minute isn't truly last minute. Like, a couple of hours ago, KK was told, yeah, KK, you're in. So maybe he had a late night. Maybe he was having fun last night. Maybe he's tired. Maybe he hasn't been practicing. So we'll see. Maybe Mateja can get a little bit of advantage. Also, El Veto. Let's go. Twitch Prime coming in hot. Thank you so much. That means the absolute world. Hope you're having a good Friday. Did Sohrob win? No. He lost in the best of 5. Reverse sweep. It was a rough ending for such a close first few games. The first 3 games were super, super close. Sohrob played amazing, and now, wow, this is going to be a big push. The problem here is going to be this Prince. This Prince is... Watch the Prince. Please watch the Prince here. This Prince is going to be so hard to deal with because the Prince can not only help rip through these knights, but also potentially... Okay, it looks like that's going to be a clean defense. Really, really, really good control. Going with an early knight, being able to cycle back to a knight to have the knight, not only for the Mega Knight, but also for the Prince after the Mega Knight goes down. So really, really well played by KK, and I expect nothing less. The problem is he needs a really good defense. He needs a really good defense, and he needs that counter push. But if the counter push is too big, Mega Knight comes right down on it. And it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get these counter pushes. Great. Interesting graveyard placement. Interesting. So defensive graveyard coming in, and it's going to be really, really good, but the problem is he's still not going to get enough. Arrows every single time for these archers. That's the problem with playing archers just in general. Arrows are a card that you don't see a lot in competitive play, but in ladder, I've used this deck in ladder, and I've switched the archers in this deck for Hunter, for Musketeer, and for Zappy. And the reason why I've switched that card, and I recommend viewers to switch the arrows, is because in ladder, it's so much more diverse, the deck pool is so much bigger, the meta is so much more versatile, where you play against arrows more often than not. In competitive, you don't really play against too much arrows. There's this deck, there's the Mega Knight Balloon deck, and there's also the Lava Miner deck. Those are pretty much the only 3 decks in this, I guess, in this competitive meta scene that we're in right now that uses arrows. And it sucks because KK uses the archers and happens to go into Mateja that has arrows. So every time these archers come down, it's just negative value every single time. KK, he's been focusing a lot on defense now, but now that we're in triple elixir, this is where you gotta go offense. So Graveyard comes in, Fireball, no, goes with Snowball? He goes Fireball and Snowball. Maybe he didn't have Fireball in his hand, so he went for Snowball first and then Fireball. So a little bit of damage, but still not enough. And watch this counter push. Potentially 2 Mega Knights. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Mega Knight on the right side. Mega Knight. Oh my gosh, double Mega Knight. This is terrifying. This is true fear. So Bomb Tie's getting a lot of value, but archers come down. Most likely arrows come down as well. Always, every single time, we're going to see those arrows come down. Gets value against all the other units, takes out the archers, and always gets damage on tower. So it looks like both cannon carts are going to go down on defense, so not a big counter push. Knight comes down, good bridge block with this prince, and minions come down. Okay, minions are high. This should be fine, though. Miner on tower gets a little bit of chip. It looks like the Musketeer is going to clean up the rest of this graveyard, and that's going to be GG, well played. Mateja wins game number 1. He played it well, but also a great matchup. Cash, write down your note. Oh, no, I have that note here. I have that note. My note, this is my note from casting the Asia Regional Finals. I have, don't count out KK or Egor, ever. And I also wrote Lapo as well. It's my little note that I keep a little propped up, just because the amount of times I've counted out KK or counted out Egor, and they end up winning just because they're amazing players. I had to keep reminding myself, because there was times where I'm like, this matchup's unwinnable. There's no way, they're behind. They can't do it. And then 2 minutes later, and they did it. It's amazing. How did they do it? Yeah, time and time again. Same thing with LaPoKaTi. I had to add his name in there as well. Do you plan on starting on time tomorrow? Do you plan on starting on time tomorrow? For my defense, I wasn't supposed to be streaming this. It was kind of a last minute thing. Call me KK in that regards, where I wasn't. Originally, I was just supposed to be co-casting with Rich Sladen, and then something came up with Rich, so he asked me to do it, so I just had to set up the World Finals. If you notice my crop job for my wallpaper, the overlay they gave me wasn't a JPEG, and so I had to like really quickly crop this, and it's not even a perfect crop. You see those little white outlines? I notice it. I can't stop noticing it, but I have a little bit of a... I don't know, whatever. Like little things like that bother me. So I had to quickly crop it, set up the stinger, set up a bunch of stuff, and get dressed. I was wearing my comfy a second ago before I started streaming. So you know what they say. You know what Drake says. Better late than never, but never late's better. How did craaaap play? I saw him got 3-0'd. He didn't play bad. It's hard because it's against Egor. If it's against anybody else, he probably would have won. He truly probably would have won. But playing against Egor, playing good isn't enough. You got to play amazing. You got to play God tier. You got to get to the level that Egor plays. And it looks like Mateja is going with Graveyard Mortar. KK is going Prince Musketeer, so maybe double Prince Graveyard coming out for KK. Instead of using Hunter, going with Musketeer. I kind of like this. I really like this deck. And there it is, Graveyard coming in early. And does he have anything to tank this Prince shot? It's going to be a Knight, but this is going to be a lot of damage. Spear Goblins come in late. Snowball comes in for Spear Goblins? Yes, it does. Perfect. Really good. A lot of damage. Problem is that Cannon Cart is still alive. Doesn't have Barbell. Gonna have to... How is he going to defend this? Dark Prince? Mortar's already locked. Okay, Dark Prince comes down late. That scared me. I thought the Cannon Cart was going to get a lot. But already the Mortar gets a lot of damage. So Graveyard gets a lot of damage, but the Mortar's probably going to even this out. Going to get maybe one more shot? Nope. That's it. So right now, if you're looking at KK, success. Tied in Elixir, and you're winning in the HP game. So, very, very good. Egor makes some bad decisions. Yes, I agree. I think he makes the worst decisions in banning cards, personally. The amount of times I've seen Egor ban Miner and ban Earthquake, where I look at the players that have benefited off the power of the Miner, the power of the Earthquake, it's like, Egor, you're the one that needs this card. You're the one that has been a god with this card. You're the reason why people ban this card. Why are you banning this card? We've seen LaPoKaTi do that. We've seen... a bunch of those guys from the Egor squad. I don't know if they have a team name. What happened to Rich? I don't know exactly. I didn't really get into detail, but something came up. He will, Rich will be back tomorrow, though. He will be casting day 2, and he will be casting day 3. So no need to fear. Rich will be here tomorrow. He will be here tomorrow. Rich ate too many edibles. I don't know if that's true at all. 600 viewers. Wow. Hey, for everybody watching, hope you guys are having a good Friday. I hope you guys are enjoying the Bren Chong Cup. And a little Chewbacca cheers. This is my first coffee today. Just waking myself up. Are you going to be casting day 2 and day 3? Please say yes. No. Maybe co-casting with Rich potentially, but no, I will not be casting. I'm just going to be doing, to be honest, the fact that I was fortunate enough to be able to cast the group stages that I casted, Asian, first off, I guess doing the qualifying tournaments, but then being part of the whole regional, the group stages, Asian, Latin America, and being part of the finals as well. It was an absolute blessing, and this should be some damage coming in. Fireball comes in right for the Zappies. Mortar is not going to get the lock, or is it going to get splash damage? Is Mortar not doing anything? So So Mortar, for some reason, was taking a little snooze. It seemed like that Mortar should have shot way before it did. Mortar does get a lock, does get one shot, but right now, KK is in a great situation. Every time those Spear Goblins come down, you know Snowball's coming. Snowball, boom, we know it. Gets the tower, slows down the attack speed of the Princess Tower, making it not as effective at dealing with the skeletons, and also taking off the Spear Goblins. Always a good play. So as long as KK can defend this, I think KK wins. Fireball comes in for the Zappies, most likely. This cannon cart, okay, no, never mind, it's fine. Barbell comes in, late Fireball, deals with the Zappies, but that's something you could have waited. I think that's a really bad play by Mateja. That's something that you could have waited, set up on defense, and once units were coming over the bridge, that's when you Fireball the Musketeer. That's when you Fireball the Zappies. That's when you Fireball the Prince. Snowball comes in, all you need is one more. What hit the tower there? What hit the tower? Super weird. I didn't notice anything was Musketeer locked. Oh, is the Musketeer? Okay. Well, that's exactly why you should have waited to Fireball. Little plays, but that just goes back to the experience. We're talking about one of the most experienced players, KK, going up against Mateja and not having that experience. And I think the biggest notable difference between an experienced player and maybe a newer player or a rising star is the ability to figure out a way to win. And I think we've seen a lot of players, Morden, Ruben are part of the reasons why I think they're number 1 and 2 in my eyes, is because no matter what the matchup is, they know how to close out a game. They know exactly when to start spell cycling. They know exactly how much to go in, never overcommit, never overdefend, and they know what they have to do. Sometimes they just let something go to get a little bit more offense to just clutch up and win that game. We saw it happen time and time again. We saw Ruben do that to Mugi in the World Finals. It's I don't know if you learn it. I don't know if it just comes with experience. I don't know where it truly just comes from. But having that awareness to figure out a way to win in a matchup is the most important thing in Clash Royale. And we see a lot of players, Wallace, Egor, KK, Mugi, a lot of these players, they just figure out a way to win. They figure out that way to win. I remember watching Michifu play this one match. It was early in the regional finals. I think it was round 2. It might have been against Morden now that I think about it. It might have been against Morden. And he starts cycling. And I can't remember. I think he was cycling Earthquakes. He starts cycling Earthquakes. And I thought to myself, wow, it's 45 seconds left in the game. It seems a little early. Why is he doing that? He ended up winning that game using the Earthquake. And the Earthquake got that third and final shot, taking that tower with 1 second left. Was it luck? I don't think so. I think Michifu knew exactly when to start going in with spell cycle. These are little things that pro players know from just playing the game, from experience, from being in this stressful environment, money on the line, big names, big event, all the eyes on them. They know how to win. They figure it out. And Mateja going with the Royal Giant, Zappies, Giant Skeleton, going with Earthquake as well. This should be a win for KK. This should be a good win. Oh, going Musketeer instead of Hunter. That's going to make a little bit of a difference. So Barbell comes in, but that's not going to be enough to defend. Electro Spirit comes in late, though, and that's a pretty solid Electro Spirit. Skeletons pile on the back, though, and that's already a lot of damage. So KK going to go with Ice Wizard. Going to go with the Goblin Cage. Yep. And then just in case, let's say this Royal Giant does break through and it looks like it's going to get on tower. All you got to do is Tornado everything back, and this is an easy. Doesn't look like you go in Tornado. Wow, you let the Royal Giant get 3 shots? Oh, wow. So 2 shots, not the end of the world. But still, I'm surprised that KK didn't use Tornado there. This is going to be a matchup it's going to be similar to a lot of graveyard matches that we saw today, and it's going to come down to absolute inches. Is this also being streamed on YouTube? In English? No. In English, it's only being streamed on Twitch. Tomorrow it will be streamed on YouTube, though, on Rich Lane's YouTube channel. ! Rich in the chat for the Rich Lane. I could do that right now real quick. ! Rich in the chat. Boom, bang, bop. That is Rich Lane's YouTube channel. This is where it's going to be streamed for day 2 and day 3 tomorrow and on Sunday. So definitely check that out. Good poison. I like that. Getting rid of the Zappies. It just shows how scary Zappies are. We see a lot of people poison the Flying Machine, prioritize their big spell for the Flying Machine, for the Zappies, and it's because they're threatening. The Zappies, if they get value, it can get ridiculous. And I think the thing that Mateja has to figure out what to get value with is not the Musketeer, not the Giant Skeleton, not the Royal Giant, but it's the Fisherman. If he can get value with this Fisherman, I'm very excited to see what Mateja can do. So we got a big push on the right side. Goblin Cage up high. Does he not have the Goblin Cage in cycle? I was too busy ranting. Earthquake comes in as well. Is that a little bit of an overcommit? Maybe not. But Ice Wizard's dead as well. That's not a big counter push. The Barbaro was able to take out the Ice Wizard. Barbaro's going to come in for the Musketeer. Is that going to take out the Musketeer? And it does. the Knight comes in and gives that final slap. So Fisherman on defense, Barbell comes in late, easy cleanup on the right side. Mateja is playing this pretty much perfectly. He's playing this exactly how he needs to. He's going in perfect amount, not overcommitting, not giving too much poison value, not giving too much value with the... It's weird that KK hasn't played his last card. And it is Tornado, and there's been times where he could play Tornado. I don't know if KK has a plan. I have it written here. Don't count out KK or Egor ever. And in brackets, I added Lapo. It's really bad handwriting. I don't know if you guys will be able to read it. So KK, very interesting plays. Not using the Tornado, deciding to take a Royal Giant shot, an extra Royal Giant shot here, an extra Royal Giant shot there. And I don't think that's the play. Mateja does have Earthquake version. He's not using the Fireball version, so that means now that we're going into Triple Elixir in 27 seconds, that means more Earthquakes will be coming down. That means more potential damage coming in. And there's not a lot of damage on that left side tower. Mateja has been defending cleanly. Going to go with Electro Spirit most likely now. Doesn't even have to. You know what? Really good eye by Mateja. Exactly knowing when he has to go in, when, you know what, save that one extra elixir. Because if you have that one extra elixir, maybe you can use it to get that Barb Barrel out a little bit quicker, or maybe get that Royal Giant out a little quicker. So, Royal Giant's coming out, or is Mateja going to do the whole Pompeo route? Or these, we've seen a lot of players, when they have the lead, they know they can win, not even use this Royal Giant. So he is going to go with Royal Giant. A lot of players, I wouldn't have been surprised if we saw Mateja just Earthquake Cycle, Earthquake Cycle, Earthquake Cycle, and then just focus on defense. We've seen him defend the entire game, so I think he can keep doing it. So finally the Tornado comes in, and it's going to stop the Royal Giant from getting any shots. And here's the counter push. You got to go in with Graveyard, or is he going to go left side with a Barb Barrel Graveyard push? So Graveyard, Baby Dragon, double Ice Wizard, but the Giant Skeleton is so annoying. It just plays it right on top of all your units coming over the bridge. And even if the Royal Giant, or the Giant Skeleton does, I think I said Royal Giant, even if the Giant Skeleton does die, bomb goes off, deals with all the supporting units. So right now, Mateja is just playing this really well. Has to go with the Tornado here. Now that he's focusing on offense, he can't go, or now that he's focusing on defense, KK is focusing on defense, can't go in offensively, can't get the damage, and it looks like Mateja is going to win this match. And that was a really well-played match. A match that, I guess, when I was looking at it originally, I looked at the Mateja's cards on defense, having the Zappies, having the Fisherman, having the Musketeer, having the Electro Spirit, the Barb Barrel. He does have ways to deal with the Graveyard, but not always not the best ways. He doesn't have a lot of splash. So, 3 claps for Mateja. That was a really good game. That was a really good game. And Mateja has played that deck a lot. We've seen him pull that deck out a lot of times in the regional finals. He played that deck against Michifu. He played that deck against LaPoKaTi. He played that deck a lot of times prior to that, even in the group stage. And he knows that deck. He really knows that deck, because I hope we get the stats. It doesn't look like we're going to get the stats, but I think if we got the stats, that matchup would be a little bit more favored in KK. I believe so. Cash, you were on the top of the Clash Royale on Twitch. It's not me, it's us. The Bren Chong Cup. I have nothing to do with this. It's the players playing, it's you guys watching, it's Ruvola Amir and Bren Chong Cup for producing this amazing tournament. I'm just the dude just chatting away, hanging out with you guys, living the dream. I'm the one that just, this is the easy part. Talking about Clash Royale, watching these great games, this is an absolute dream. I don't think we're going to get the stats, so let's go back to just my face. I was going to say pretty face, but I don't know. What is the live stream called? Skidzoras. What do you mean live stream? What do you mean? Cash is featured in game by Supercell. Yes, that's super cool. Super cool. Go Cash fam. Go us. Woohoo! Go Supercell. Shout out to Supercell. And shout out to everybody watching right now. Hope you guys are having a good Friday. Was it the first match of the day? No, Harry. That was technically the fourth match, or this is the fourth match. We've seen AC versus Egor in the first game, and it was 3-0 for Egor. Then we saw... who did we see? It was StangSand and... Oh, no, we saw Wallace. And... who did Wallace play? Who did Wallace play? Why can't I remember who Wallace played? Okay, yeah, they switched it. Yeah, I saw that as well. Mateja does have 2. KK has 1. And they switched it. LaPoKaTi, that's correct. And then after that, we saw StangSand and we saw Sohrob. That went to the game, the best of 5, went to the 5th and final game. And StangSand was able to close it out. And right now, it looks like we have a mirror match. This mirror match is insane. So this is something where you got to keep an eye on in this mirror matchup. A lot of times you think of, first off, it's making sure you don't give your opponent too much spell value. And I know that sounds simple, but making sure that if you play your archers, don't play them too close to the Mega Minion, don't play them too close to the Knight or the Cannon Cart, because you know your opponent's going to Fireball that. Any value with Fireball or Snowball, not as much for Snowball, but Fireball, that's going to be crucial. But the next thing is, watch out when Mateja or KK uses their Knight in a situation that maybe is not the best, a situation where their opponent doesn't have to worry about that Knight. Watch out for these cannon carts, because one cannon cart lock is GG well played. Who won between Lapo and Wallace? Wallace did. Wallace won. Wallace won. I totally forgot I didn't explain that. It was, I think, 3-1 if I'm not mistaken. 3-1 Wallace. It went to the 4th of the 5 games. And then now this is the 4th set of today, which is Mateja on the top, KK on the bottom, and right now Mateja is in the lead. But this is I think the perfect way to figure out if Mateja should be in the next stage. And right there, cannon cart lock. That's all it takes is one cannon cart lock, and this game's most likely over. So in a mirror matchup against KK, a player that we have seen so much, a player that wasn't originally supposed to be in the World Finals, but is as deserving as anybody for being here. Big push on the right side. Cannon cart, bomb tower up high. That cannon cart should still get a lock potentially. Has to go with the Mega Minion up high. Is it enough? Cannon cart gets the lock. And just like that, you saw a cannon cart on the left side get a lock for KK. Now a cannon cart on the right side. This game gets closer, but still, KK in a dominant lead. A very, very good situation. And Mateja, let's see if he has it in him. Let's see if he has this clutchness, this experience. Let's see what Mateja is about, because this is where you're gonna figure out if someone's a diamond. Under this pressure, under this situation, where right now this is do or die. You can, and it looks like it's dead. I talked a little bit too much there. GG, well played. Mirror matchup, a lot of people say it's all about opening hand, it's all about cycle, it's all about this, it's all about that. I personally think it's a lot about skill. I think it's about knowing the deck and knowing the mirror matchup itself and how to win the mirror matchup, and KK clearly knew how to do that. If I'm Mateja, you know what? Maybe it's time to go back to that Royal Giant Skeleton deck. Is it predictable? Maybe, but that's a deck that I've seen Mateja outplay any deck. He plays it so confidently. He knows exactly what to do. He does a really good job of putting pressure on both lanes, either going with something simple like 2 Zappies and a Giant Skeleton on one side, and then supporting the other side with 1 Zappy, a Fisherman, and the Royal Giant. He plays it so well, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. Mikey, yo, what's up? Happy Friday. Any big plans for the weekend? Anything crazy happening? KK is strong. KK, I wouldn't be surprised if we see KK, wasn't supposed to be here, gets the last minute substitution. You're in the World Finals, and you know what? KK, if there's a player that wants a little bit of revenge, KK against Mugi. The reason why KK isn't here today, you could argue that it's because of Mugi. If KK wins, next round we'll be playing against Mugi? No, Mugi is playing against, let me check out. Oh, no, we're going right into the game. No, I believe Mugi's playing against StangSand. It's StangSand and Mugi. My mistake. StangSand and Mugi is going to be playing. But anyways, KK, I think he got something to prove. I'm excited to see what KK is about. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him potentially even win the Bren Chong Cup too. He's that good of a player. KK was in Ponos, yes. And now he's a content creator for, I guess not a content creator, but he got signed to Fab Gaming maybe 2 weeks ago. Also, PsychTTV. Yo, thank you so much for the bits. Cash, do the unique thumb flex. This thing? Where like you flick. How'd you guys know I could do this? Do the unique thumb flex. Wait, did you guys, have I showed this off before? That like I'm double jointed in my thumb and I could do this little thing? It's hard to see it clicks. I can do it with both hands too. Yeah. I didn't know I ever showed this. Also, KK, this is a do or die match, and we've seen him do this before. Double Prince, Goblin Giant bait, and Mateja does go with the deck. This is exactly what I expected, and I'm glad Mateja did it. You know what? If you win or you lose, pull out your best deck, go out with a bang, and I guarantee you that's what this is what's gonna happen in this game. This seems like a really good matchup though, except the fact of this Prince. Every time I see the Prince, I think, in my opinion, the Prince right now is the most underrated card in Clash Royale. It is so annoying to deal with, especially in a lot of decks right now in the meta, that they just don't have a great way to pick up the Prince. So going behind this going behind, I guess, the Goblin Giant and being behind the Dark Prince potentially. This Prince, watch out for the Prince. Keep an eye out for the Prince. I brought it up in the last game. Cannon card. Keep an eye on the cannon card. I think in this matchup right now, the card to watch is this Prince, especially behind this Goblin Giant. No Fisherman to pull. The Giant Skeleton is going to be good, but the Goblin Giant does get on tower. Gets 1 shot. Gets 2 shots. And the Prince pretty much already cleaned up the Giant Skeleton. Prince does get 1 shot on the Musketeer, and a little bit of counter push for Mateja. Royal Giant, oh, right away. I love it. Confidence. Earthquake coming in. Earthquake. Good Earthquake. Takes out the Spear Goblins. Also gets a lot of damage on tower. So Dark Prince at the back. Interesting play. Probably going to go for a Goblin Giant in front. Yes. And now probably going to go for a Prince on the right side. I don't think Prince on the left side is the play. Prince on the right side. Great play. Let's go. That's exactly what you should do because you have not a great answer for this Prince. Is it going to go for the Musketeer? Fisherman is going to come down. Is the Prince going to get the charge on the Fisherman? And it does. A lot of damage on the left side. Prince does go down, but I still really like that Prince on the right side. I think that was a really, really good play. Giant Skeleton is still alive. Dark Prince up high. Does he have the answer, though, to make sure this Royal Giant... Does he go with the Zap as well? Bats are doing a good job. That's it. GG. That's it. Mateja won. KK can't deal enough damage. I can't believe that KK pulled this deck out. We saw KK use this deck in the regional finals, and part of the reason why he was in the loser's bracket is because he played this deck. I have yet to see KK win with this deck. I've seen him play it in the regional finals, now the world finals, and also twice in the group stage, and I've never seen KK win with this deck. I don't know why KK keeps using this deck. I don't understand it. I personally don't think it's a good deck. It's a deck that works on ladder just because the mechanic of bait in Clash Royale, you can sometimes abuse some decks that don't have enough spells or just can't deal with the bait aspect. I've lost to that deck on ladder, but I haven't seen one single pro lose to it in the Bren Chong Cup. Not one. Wow. So Mateja, really, I would say that's an upset. I think everybody looking at that, if they had to put bets, if Vegas now had the odds on that matchup, I think it's a heavy favor for KK to win that. And the fact that Mateja brings that all the way to the 5th game, wins the 5th game, shows that he has that clutchness. Mateja, in my mind, is one of the best Royal Giant Skeleton players, or at least the player that has had the most success with that deck. He plays it so well. Lillard. No, Lillard! R.I.P. to Lillard. But KK, you know what? You got to give KK the credit that he deserves in this situation. KK also was in a situation where he was a last-minute substitution. He wasn't supposed to be here, and today we found out that Grieco, also known as Miku, was 15, so he got disqualified. They needed someone to replace Grieco, and they got KK last minute. So was KK maybe not as prepared as he would have been if he was supposed to be here? I believe so. I think we would have saw a different KK. Let's go to the replay. I don't know what replay this is going to be. This is going to be the double Mega Knight one. This was wild. When will all the things turn into Flash in the production house? Now that Flash is out of the tournament, maybe not. Mateja plays 24/7. Totally deserves. Mateja has been proving himself. Absolutely proving himself. And in the next round, I believe he is playing against Samuel Bassotto, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he's playing against Samuel Bassotto, and that is going to be very difficult. That is just going to be super difficult, to say the least. Mateja played this deck in a GT today. Mateja played what? The deck that, like the Royal Giant Skeleton deck? Well, I hope so, because he plays it like nobody I've ever seen. He plays it so well. He knows... It seems like he knows every matchup. Even that matchup, I've played against that double Prince, bait, giant, or Goblin Giant deck, Shrek. I've played against that deck maybe 4 or 5 times myself. Not many times. And it seemed like Mateja knew what he was doing. So he's definitely... I don't know if he's practiced that, or maybe he just came up against it in ladder. I know there's a couple of top ladder players that do play this deck. Tries to go for that Goblin Giant, tries to get this last push in, but Mateja just has so many answers. So many answers. Even using Earthquake on defense, taking out the Goblins, and also slowing down the Goblin Giant. Using the Fisherman to pull the King Tower. That's going to be GG, well played. Just using the Earthquake on defense there. I think it just shows the confidence. He knows how to get the most out of each of the cards in this deck, and that's what you got to do. He played it well. I'm excited to see. We are going to see Mateja too. I totally forgot. We are going to see Mateja play again. We're going to see StangSand play again. We're going to see Wallace play again, and we're going to see Egor play again. And we're going to see them play in the next round. I guess this would be considered the quarterfinals, and I'm excited. I'm very, very, very excited. All these players, it's a weird situation because a lot of people say that players that have a bye, everybody that came in first in the regional finals, so in Asia, it was Mugi. In Latin America, it was Bassotto. In North America, it was Miniminter. And in the last region, which was Europe, was, drumroll please, why can't I think of it? Michifu, that's right. Michifu was the number one. So all those players got a bye to the second round, which you see up there. Now they're going to be playing against the players that won in the first round. The problem is, I don't think the bye is always positive. A lot of times you see, especially in CRL, we've seen this format in CRL in a bunch of seasons, and a lot of times you see like teams that were in the first round just get this momentum, get this confidence where you play, you win, and then you go against this team that had 3 byes and is already in the semifinals, and you beat that team because maybe they're just not ready, they're not warmed up. I know there's the argument where it's like, well, you show so many of your decks and you have more hidden and blah 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 matchups and secrecies. You're warmed, you're not tired from playing so many games. It's hard to say what's better or what's worse. Personally, I maybe this is just me. What do you guys? Would you guys rather have a bye to the second round? I think that's a stupid question. I think everybody here would be like, wait, so I could play Egor in the second round potentially, or have to play Egor in the first round and then Miniminter in the second round? I would rather. Whoa, Mugi! Here he is, my number one. I don't want to overhype this because Mugi has, every single time I've watched Mugi, I've been fortunate enough to watch him in the group stage and in the regional finals, and every single time I watch Mugi play, I learn something new. I see him do something and I say, wow, that's cool. I was thinking maybe this player, that play would be better, and he does something totally different, and every time I'm impressed. So really good poison, knowing that the archers were going to come down in the back, predictive poison, making sure the archers don't get a lot of value, dealing with these skeletons, and just like that, a lot of damage, not actually at all. What? How did Mugi get out of that with, what is that, like 200 damage? I think that was just the poison. Did Mugi defend that perfectly? Did nothing other than poison touch his tower? Because right now, Mugi is technically winning on the left side. So Mugi is using Balloon Cycle. Last 2 cards are going to be Balloon and Snowball. StangSand is going to be using the deck we saw him play against Sohrob. So last 2 cards are going to be what? Snowball, I think he has Snowball as well. StangSand has Snowball and Hunter, that's correct. If he has Snowball, this is going to be really hard for Mugi because there's the Zappies, there's the Hunter, there's the Baby Dragon, and there's also potentially the Snowball and the Goblin Cage to pull the Balloon. If you're Mugi, if anybody can do it, it's Mugi, but any human like me or you, it's going to be hard to get this Balloon on tower. So Goblin Cage comes in, pulls it in, now potentially goes with a Baby Dragon. Snowball. It is Snowball. Wow. So Snowball first, then Baby Dragon. The Zappy should make it so this Balloon doesn't pretty much move anywhere. Death damage comes in, which is partly the reason why people say Balloon's OP. And we might see that today. We might not see one single Balloon drop, but just with death damage and Minor chip, we might see Mugi win this game. So now we're going in with another Balloon. Minor coming in, maybe? Barbarill coming in to support. Hunter, Zappies. It has so many resources. But death damage, again, maybe. Is that death damage? No death damage coming in from Mugi, but still, he has the lead, and now we get to see a graveyard coming in the left side. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Mugi go from left and right, not totally focus on this left side. He's going back on the left side. Still has to defend this graveyard. No, he does not. Really good eye, just knowing exactly how much he has to defend. So Minor comes in, and that Balloon is going to get a drop. That Balloon's going to get a drop. Even if you play the Hunter, it's not enough. Hunter's going to get 1 shot. It might get another drop. 2 drops? No, Zappy says no. Not today. No. Wow, very clutch Zappy. If the Zappy did not get the shot, that would have been GG well played. In a matchup that I was looking at should be very heavily favored for StangSand. Just so much pressure. Mugi, let me breathe for a sec. It seems like a Balloon's down for Mugi every single second. So Balloon, all it needs is death damage here. So if you're, right now, if you're StangSand, use a snow... He doesn't use the Snowball. That's a lot of damage. I really think that Snowball would have been a great play. Pushing the Balloon away, making sure that death damage comes in. Because if you're Mugi, all you need is a couple more Minor shots, and then maybe a Snowball or 2, and then, oh, wait a sec. That 1 skeleton on the back has to use a Snowball, but he missed 2 skeletons. Princess retargets. Skeletons get taken out, but still, I wouldn't be surprised if StangSand goes in for another graveyard. Hunter at the back. Hunter, I don't know what I just... I choked a little bit. Hunter at the back, probably going to just set up for another graveyard, and now we're going Balloon on the right side. I like that. I like that play a lot. Goblin Cage is going to pull, even though it doesn't really look like it does in that position. And this is awkward because I think Mugi's going to have to win by maybe going with miners. The problem is StangSand can use Snowball to push the miner off the tower, put a Knight, wedge it between the tower and the miner. This is going to be hard. This is going to be hard. Mugi's in such a good situation, but this is what I talk about all the time with these experience, these pro players, having this clutchness. Even though you're in a good situation, figuring out a way to win the match, win the game, and just overall just get yourself just over this hump. And let's see what he does now. Mega Minion on defense. Barbarrel comes in. Couple skeletons in the bottom. Archers come in outside of the poison. Miner up high. Snowball comes in, gets a little bit of damage. I think the Miner got one shot there, but the Zappy's reset. Snowball comes in, a little bit more damage with 19 seconds left. Miner comes in, doesn't get picked up though. A little late with the Barbarrel. I think he used the Barbarrel to tank for the Miner. A little late with the Barbarrel, or maybe a little early with the Miner. Archers on defense, just because the poison takes a couple of ticks. Snowball comes in as well. Barbarrel as well. Miner on the back of the tower. Miner does get one, needs one more shot to win. Doesn't get it, but it doesn't matter. Wins off tiebreaker. 452 to 26. GG, well played. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it. Mugi, a matchup I brought up. How ridiculous does it sound? Okay, so what counters do you have to a balloon? You have Baby Dragon, you have Zappies, you have Hunter, you have Snowball, you have Goblin Cage. That's 5 out of 8 cards have a counter to your win condition. So sure, it's a cycle deck, but you have technically 3 or 2 in your hand at all times to deal with the win condition of Mugi. I don't know how. I don't know how he figures out a way, but I think that just shows the greatness of Mugi. Not a 1080p stream, no. 720 right now. I didn't realize that my Wi-Fi, my upload speed, part of the reason why my quality has kind of been lacking a little bit or has been going down a little bit. Wow, I'm surprised that that matchup was so heavily favored. Or so in the middle. Technically, if you look at the matchup, it says 7 out of 8 cards. So I think that 7 out of 8 card, that difference is probably in StangSand's deck, not having 3 air defenses. I think StangSand had a good matchup. The problem is Mugi, you need more than a good matchup to beat Mugi. You need a great matchup, and you need to play it absolutely perfectly. Because we saw Greco in the finals have a matchup where I have never seen. It was, what was the deck? It was Giant... It was Giant Skeleton Royal Giant versus Royal Recruits Royal Hogs, and I've never seen the Royal Recruits Royal Hogs player lose that matchup. And somehow Greco lost, and a lot of people are like, wow, Greco choked, he didn't do well. But I think it was Mugi that just did so incredibly. Is he going Hog EQ? Looks like Mugi's going Hog EQ, and this is a deck we've seen him play all the way, group stage, regional finals, everything in between. Maybe he's going to go with the Mortar Control. Is it Mortar Control? This is another deck we saw. Okay, it's not Mortar Control. It could be... It still could be just Mortar Miner. Or, like, it could be Mortar Miner. It looks like it's 2.6 Royal Hog. No. Cheesecake, if you're in chat, yo, shout out to Cheesecake. This is not a good deck. I don't love this deck, and the reason I don't love it is just because there's so many counters to the Royal Hogs, where there's Hunter, it's really, really popular, Bomb Tower is really popular, Dark Prince is really popular, Fireball is really popular, also Psych TV, yo, thank you so much for this tier 1, that means the absolute world. Much love. Cheesecake, you're in chat? Let's go, baby. Shout out to Cheesecake. He's the one that introduced me to this deck. Actually, Cheesecake in chat right now. I made a YouTube video. He played this deck. I think he was number 29th in the world at the time with this deck. And we saw him. This deck in the hands of a master is really, really good. There's a lot of outplayability with this deck, having this quick cycle going with Royal Hogs. One play that we might see Mugi do, and I've seen him do it a couple of times, is play Royal Hogs at the back so we can get to another wave of Royal Hogs. So go Royal Hogs on the back left in double or triple elixir, defend on the right side, this Royal Giant, and then go in again. The problem is, though, right now, is defending these Royal Giants, it's hard to defend them perfectly. Even if you go in with Hunter, even if you go with the Log, even if you perfectly stop this Fisherman from dealing damage, I guess you could say the same thing, though, for these Royal Hogs. This Royal Hogs and these Earthquake are going to consistently do damage, so maybe we got a little bit of an even playing field. Matchup for Stang, in my opinion, it's a little bit of a matchup for Stang, but maybe it's not as big as I thought. StangSand is clearly using Earthquake as his last card. If StangSand was using Fireball instead of Earthquake, I think this matchup would be heavily favored for StangSand. But because he doesn't have that Fireball, I think this matchup's a lot closer, and if a close matchup is pretty much a favorable matchup for Mugi. So we see the Hunter. Hunter's probably going to go down. Does he get to another Hunter? How do you defend this Royal Giant? So Royal Delivery comes in, and that's perfectly enough. Royal Giant gets one shot, and right away you see Royal Hogs on the left side. You see the Earthquake, and that's going to be a lot of damage. King Tower's activated. Hunter's doing Hunter things, just blasting. But still, 697 left on the left side tower. And right now, this is where StangSand's getting a little nervous. Wait a second, this left side tower is getting really low. So all you have to do if you're Mugi right now is I wouldn't be surprised if you see one more Royal Hogs and now just Earthquake Cycle, Earthquake Cycle. You know Royal Hogs should get a little bit of damage. 2 shots. That's all you need. It's 2 shots. Now all you need right now is Log, Earthquake, GG, well played, Mugi. Is he the best player in Clash Royale right now? In my opinion, yes. He's on a tier that I've never seen anybody get to. It's very reminiscent of what Ruben was in the World Finals. He plays so many decks. It seems like he knows every single matchup with every single deck, and the way he plays it, he always figures out a way to win. He has that instinct. He has that intangible, and I hope I don't jinx it. Wow. If Mugi lost that would have been very, very sad. But Mugi is incredible. On defense, he's got to be up there with the defensive masters like Egor and Lapo and all those guys. On defense, he's as sound as anybody gets. On offense, he knows exactly when to go in. Just put your opponent under a lot of pressure. One thing I want to note, and hopefully they show the replay, is the skeletons. Did you notice that he went with the Royal Hogs and there were skeletons behind one of his Royal Hog pushes? I was like, wow, that's a weird play. Weird play. I didn't know why. But if you look, the skeletons helped chipped away at the Hunter. It helped chipped away at the Zappies, and he didn't have to defend it on the left side because of how much damage the skeletons did to the supporting units on that left side. So well played. Like little things like that. That's the difference between going from good to great to God. And I think we're seeing Mugi. I don't want to overhype it, but Mugi is in another level. Mugi over Ruben, yeah, I'm saying it. I've been so impressed with what Mugi's doing. Mugi had a great matchup too. That's the biggest difference. The biggest difference. If that was Fireball, maybe we would have saw StangSand be able to win this. But you know what? That is Mugi. That's absolute dinner. When Egor I think plays next against Miniminter, which is going to be an insane game. We still have Egor and Miniminter. We have potentially 3 more games, 1 or 3 more games with Mugi and StangSand. And then we have Samuel Bassotto and Mateja. And then there's one more, which is Michifu and not LaPoKaTi. Michifu and LaPikati, right? Wait, is that right? Who's Michifu? Michifu is playing... Oh, Michifu's playing Egor. Miniminter's playing... That's right. Wallace beat LaPikati. That's correct. I forgot about that. So many games today. So many good players. This is stressing me out. Bro, show us the fat thumb. Thumb? I just gotta know. I got small hands. I got very small hands. Petite hands. Maestro, thank you so much for the follow, by the way. Welcome to the Bren Chong Cup, too. Michifu and Wallace. It's Michifu and Egor. I missed it. I got them swapped around. It's Michifu and Egor, and then it's Wallace and Miniminter. StangSand is tilted, and this goes back to experience. StangSand's playing the deck Mugi just played, and not only that, but now we see Mugi get an insanely good matchup. He's playing Royal Giant Cycle. This is a deck that I love seeing Mugi play just because he plays it so well. There's a lot of outplayability with this deck that Mugi's playing, and a lot of it comes down to the Fisherman play. Just watch I think Fisherman's the card to watch in this matchup. It's going to be hard, so we're seeing the opposite now. So now it's going to be hard for, I guess, StangSand to defend these Royal Giants perfectly. The Royal Giant should always at least get one shot, and there it didn't actually. So really well defended. Really well defended, but perfect. Keeping a little bit of health on that Fisherman. This Fisherman might get a shot on tower. Worst case scenario, StangSand has to use a little bit of elixir to stop it. Fisherman doesn't get a shot. Really good eye. He was up high. Goes with the log as well to push everything back, or is that it? A lot of damage coming in. Okay. We're seeing Mugi bleed. 3-0 GG. I don't know if this is 3-0 right now. I think this is an okay matchup for Mugi, but he is so far behind. And StangSand does have Earthquake. And Earthquake, when you're this low, it's just a couple of Earthquakes, and that's GG well played. So Fireball comes in. Now doesn't have the Fireball for these Royal Hogs. Goes with the Ewas up high. Goes with the Skeletons. Log's going to push everything back. Royal Hogs do get on tower, get 3 shots, and now Royal Giant gets 1 shot. Most likely a Royal Giant's going to come in front. Royal Giant in front. Royal Giant in front. Royal Giant comes down in front, and now you have to make sure you deal with this Fisherman. Does he get the Skeletons in front of the... He goes with the Spear Goblins up high. Because if that Hunter got grabbed, that Royal Giant would have done way more damage than it did. Double fisherman. That's such a funny interaction. I love when the fishermen are just pulling it. Hey, pull him over here. Nah, I want him. I'll take him. I always find that's a very funny interaction. So Royal Hogs come in, fireball, or going just with the units. And you see Mugi do this a lot. Prioritize going with units instead, just so he has this counter push. Not going with fireball on defense, which is maybe a little bit better of a defense. A little bit. Is that GG? You have to go fireball here, right? You can't perfectly defend this. Electro Spirit comes in, skeletons. Log comes in, Earthquake comes in. That's GG, well played. No, Royal Hog's gonna take it. Wow! And StangSand, just like that. If you make a god bleed, they'll stop believing. I gotta get the quote from Iron Man 2. I'm pretty sure that Russian guy in Iron Man 2 talks about like making Tony Stark bleed, and it's like, if you show the world that the god bleeds, they stop believing. And he has his little bird, and he's like, "Where's my bird?" Iron Man 2. What a great movie. I gotta watch that. Maybe that's something my girlfriend and I can watch on Valentine's Day. Probably not. Is YouTube stream running at 1080? YouTube. There is no YouTube stream. I'm just on Twitch right now. I'm just on Twitch. Soon though, I'm going to have to figure out. I didn't realize my Wi-Fi. I've been having problems with streaming. I didn't realize that my upload isn't high enough to get to 1080p. You need at least 20 megabytes upload. You need 20 up, and I'm only at I'm at 15 up, so I just need to pay a little extra for Wi-Fi. I gotta pay an extra $25, get a little bit more up, and then I got that 1080p back. But oh, by the way, how's the quality been at 720? Has there been a little lag, pixelated, anything wrong? Have you guys enjoyed your stay? I feel like I'm an Airbnb host right now. So StangSand, oh my gosh, is it Hoggy Q versus Splash Yard? I want to see it. StangSand has used a lot of Electro Giant though. So Hoggy Q coming up from Mugi, doing exactly what you need to do, is just already put on that pressure. I think StangSand is using the Electro Giant, because going the barbell at the bridge, you don't see a lot of Splash Yard players do that. I think StangSand's using Electro Giant. He is. And we saw this is where the start of the BM, the start of the drama between StangSand and Samuel Bassotto started. This is Electro Giant. I guarantee you any money. Tornado, such a stupid oh, he missed the tornado. One hit? Just one hit. Not the end of the world. But this is a matchup this is the exact same matchup, I believe, that we saw with StangSand and Samuel Bassotto. This matchup is very heavily favored right now. Very heavily favored for StangSand. And we saw him win against Bassotto, but it wasn't a dominating win. Where's Rich today? He had something came up, so I'm streaming instead. It's Gucci, first world problems, 1080p, nothing is gonna be, yeah, I need that 4K, that's what I need. It's funny because personally, I can't tell the difference between 1080 and 720. And I've seen 4K TVs and I've seen 4K resolution. I can't tell the difference. I don't know if I have such a monkey brain or I'm not advanced enough, but 720 to 4K, I can't tell the difference. Like, the pixels are so small at that point, I can't tell. I can tell the difference between 360 to 720, but once you get the 4K, that's when I get stressed out. I can't tell the difference. Oh, it is Splash Yard. Okay, StangSand's using Splash Yard. We saw him use Splash Yard a lot of times, but more often than not, we saw StangSand use Electro Giant. So we have yet to see Electro Giant today, and maybe the reason why is there's a fear of bad matchup. The problem with Electro Giant is there's a lot of good matchups, like this one, but there's also a lot of bad matchups, and one of them being the Mortar Graveyard deck that we've already saw a decent amount of times today. That matchup is pretty much 100-0. I've never seen an Electro Giant player come close to beating that matchup, so just avoiding decks with bad matchups, I think, is a smart play overall. We've seen this matchup so many times. LaPoKaTi, the reason he's not here in this winner's bracket is because he lost this matchup. He lost this matchup to Wallace. I have yet to see someone win this matchup, Hoggy Q versus Splash Yard. I bring it up all the time because your opponent has two ways to deal with your hogs. They always have a bomb tower. In this case, it's the Goblin Cage, which isn't perfect, but if you support it with an Ice Wizard or whatever, it's not a big deal. And then you also have the Tornado, which you can always use to pull to your opponent's. You can pull the hog to your King Tower, which is always really, really good. The archers on defense are okay, but they're not perfect. Poison comes in, gets a little bit of damage, and then you always have to use a little bit extra elixir. Skeletons usually get at least a little bit of damage, and right now we're seeing this lead just pull apart. This might be the biggest upset of the Bren Chong Cup. This might be the biggest upset. Mugi losing that last matchup, which I think he might have had a decent matchup for, and now getting a really bad matchup. The matchup I have yet to see anybody in the Bren Chong Cup win. I've seen this matchup, now this is number 18, I believe. I've seen this matchup. The closest I've ever seen it was about one Earthquake away, 122 HP. for the player that's using Splash Yard, and that's the closest I've ever seen it. I've seen people make mistakes as well. Hog does not get on tower. Tornado, perfect tornado. Baby Dragon does get splashed, gets one shot. And right now, Mugi has to put on the Jets. He has to figure out how to get one Hog on tower because I don't think he's going to win by EQ alone. This defense, I know Mugi is such a good defensive player. He knows how to defend. We've seen him defend Graveyard so cleanly, so efficiently, so effectively. The problem is it's just guaranteed chip with poison. A couple of RNG skeletons spawn. Really good archers right in the middle. And you know what? That might be a perfect defense. The only thing coming in is poison. And there's the Hog hit. This might happen. We might see a Hog EQ player beat Splash Yard. Sure, it's Goblin Cage, which is a little bit better than I think personally than the Bomb Tower for the match, for like helping out the Hog EQ player win, but still, this is going to be amazing, and it comes down to this final defense. It's do or die. Archers are down, poison comes down, has to go with the High Knight. High Knight comes down, and does he go with the Hog, or does he just go Earthquake Cycle, Earthquake Cycle, Earthquake Cycle? Royal Delivery comes in, Earthquake comes in, we need one more Earthquake. One more Earthquake. You could go with the Hog Rider here, which isn't a crazy play, or you can just focus on this defense, as we've seen Mugi do so many times. Earthquake comes in, and there it is. A crazy. That is the first time we've ever seen Hog EQ beat Splash Yard. And who other than Mugi? We've seen some of the greatest players. I've seen KK try it. I've seen Lapo try it. I've seen everybody try to win this matchup, and I've yet to be able to see one player. I've seen players get close. We've all seen players get close, but we have not seen someone just get over that hump and win. Mugi has that. He has that ability to get over that hump, figure out a way to win. And Mugi, wow, he made it look easy at the end. That one NATO, and that's all it takes, is one mistake. You can't make mistakes. 60-40 matchup. The reason that 60-40 is because of the Goblin Cage. We saw this matchup. You know what? I wonder if the Royal Delivery helps a lot more in that matchup. Because usually in the past we've seen Snowball instead of Royal Delivery. I think even KK ended up not going with, he didn't go with Snowball or Royal Delivery. He went with Electro Spirit. So I wonder if this is maybe the best version of this deck to beat Splash Yard, but still, Mugi. 5 claps. Mugi is next level. Mugi, in my opinion, he has achieved Ultra Instinct, and he's the only one that has achieved it. He is so good. Drink water? Did I miss a drink water? I'll drink coffee instead. I mean, Stang and Wallace are two different tiers when you look at Graveyard players. I agree. But at the same time, you always hope that a player, especially this deep into this quality of a tournament, this high level of competition, you kind of hold everybody to the same standard. Where if I see Wallace play a deck, if I see StangSand play a deck, if I see Mateja play a deck, I want to see them play it pretty much perfectly, because that's what you have to do. If you want to win, if you're here, you want to win. And if you want to win, you got to know your deck. It's not enough about getting a good matchup, but you have to know the matchup. You have to figure out a way to win that matchup. Cage sucks in that matchup. They all had Bomb Tower. Sauce, I don't think every single one had Bomb Tower. I don't think every single one. Majority, you're right. They did have Bomb Tower, but we did see a lot. We have yet to see someone with Hog EQ even win against the Goblin Cage version. That's at least the first time I saw it. Maybe I missed a match in the Europe side. I didn't cast the Europe or the North America regional finals or the group stage, so I might have missed a matchup here or there. Michifu's Egor. This is Michifu versus Egor. I don't want to overhype this, but Michifu, as I start overhyping this, Michifu is the reason why Ruben and Morden aren't here right now. People have came in stream, where's Ruben? Where's Morden? Are they still in? No. And the reason why they're not in is because of a player named Michifu. Michifu has put in the work. He's a player that I think Real Betis should have played more of last season in CRL. He was on a team with a lot of great players like Saint Belican, Pedro, Diego E, and we saw all those players have a lot of success in the Bren Chong Cup. I think Real Betis focused a lot on trying to get other players like Pedro to warm them up, to get to that Pedro they wanted. The problem is I think Michifu was a little bit of a shining star. And it doesn't look like we got Michifu and Egor yet, but we got the next best thing. We got Wallace on top. We got Mini on the bottom, and this is, if we're talking about good players, both of these players are top 10 right now in the world easily. Easily top 10 in the world. Wallace has been dominating ever since I saw him in the group stage. Wallace came out swinging, and he hasn't stopped. Miniminter on the other side. North America, a lot of people are saying, wow, the North American region, it's lower. It's the lowest quality. It's the worst of all the regions Clash Royale wise. Maybe you can make an argument for that. Sure, I don't think it's as bad. How did I just do that? I ripped my pajama string. I have a really bad problem with like fidgeting. I always I like to like just kind of play with my pajama string, or like my sweatband string, or even like this. If you see me, sometimes I'll go like this and I'll like fidget with these. I fidgeted so much that it actually broke, which is funny. I didn't think I could do that. So Miniminter going with the Royal Ghost, Royal Giant Cycle. This deck's really, really good, and Wallace is going with the Fire and Ice Graveyard, a deck we've seen so many times today. Reason why it's called Fire and Ice is Snowball, Fireball, not usually seen the same deck. This is a really, 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 a lot of Fireball value. Doesn't get the cannon cart though, but great Fisherman to pull the cannon cart, not having to worry about this on the counter push. So, an okay defense by Wallace, but I think that was a really good Fisherman by Miniminter. Because if he didn't play that Fisherman, defending this push would have been way harder. And right now, look at this is a layup to defend. Except the Royal Ghost isn't hitting anything. Finally, it hit something. The Royal Ghost is such a weird card in so many situations. It could be the best card, or it could just be an absolute enigma with just putting its hand up, making its stupid little sound, ooh, and never actually hitting something and just staying invisible, trying to figure out a target that's just slow enough for him to bring that sword, I think it's a sword, down on that opponent's troop. It's such a weird card. So this could be a graveyard coming in. I think Wallace is one card away, so has to go with the Mega Minion first, and then maybe going with the Cannon Cart locked on. Cannon Cart locked on. Going with the late, I love this, going with the late graveyard as well. He still has tanks. This could be the fall though of Wallace. This counter push could just be too big. Mega Minion is helping dealing with a lot of the HP of this Royal Giant. Royal Giant only gets one shot, and just like that, Wallace is in the lead. Miniminter doesn't want to be playing same lane here, I don't think. Miniminter, if he's smart, maybe goes left side. No, he's going all in on the right side. Royal Ghost is going to be really good, especially with the Bar Barrel as well, to take out this bottom tower as quickly as possible. Snowball comes in, trying to slow the DPS, but this Royal Giant, or the Royal Ghost, is going to get on tower. Gets one shot, gets two shots, and just like that, takes the lead. But Mini, this is the push that is kind of scary. Goes with that early Fireball, breaking the cannon cart on the opposite side of the arena, which is perfect. You don't have to worry about the cannon cart. We already saw it get a lock, and we see it do a lot of damage. So defending, going with the Fisherman, going with the late Bar Barrel, going with the Electro Spirit, which is, if you get it right, can just easily deal with the entire graveyard. At least clean it up at the end. It's a really good way to clean up graveyard. So Fireball comes in. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a Bar Barrel as well, or something to deal with this cannon cart before it gets over. Nope, that's not going to happen. Electro Spirit comes in. Fireball comes in for Wallace, and Wallace, this game is way too close. 37 HP separating these two towers. Right now, we got a graveyard coming in, so this is pretty much do or die. No graveyard coming in. Patience. Is this good or bad? This is exactly what Miniminter wants. An easy defense and an easy counter push. So Graveyard now comes in, but the cannon cart's pretty much dead. Snowball comes in, Hunter at the back. Does have the Electro Spirit still. Does he? Doesn't even need it. Really, really good eye. Mega Minion gets one shot. Fireball comes in. That's GG, well played. All you need is a Snowball. The Mega Minion is the absolute MVP for Wallace. We saw the Baby Dragon do work for Sohrob, but now Snowball comes in. You have the Elixir. There it is. Boom. GG, well played. And Wallace, with one Mega Minion, wins the game. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. That's what level of competition we're at in Clash Royale in 2021, but also in this Bren Chong Cup, where it comes down to 30, what did I say? 37 HP? No, 67 HP? Whatever it was, that much HP, where a Mega Minion, one single Mega Minion shot, is the difference between winning and losing $40,000 and going home. That is insane to me. And that must be one of those plays. I don't think Miniminter is the type of player that gets tilted. We saw a lot of players, a lot of these pro players, a lot of people that have been in the competitive scene in Clash Royale for a long time. Similar players like LCOP, where if they make a mistake, they forget about it. But me personally, especially that situation where you say to yourself, wait a second, if I played my Electro Spirit, would I have won this game? Probably. That's when you start talking to yourself. That's when you start doubting your plays. That's when you start doubting yourself. And that's where it can start snowballing in a downwards trend. We might see Miniminter make another mistake in this next game. And if you make a mistake against Wallace, he's going to notice it. He's going to figure it out, and he's going to figure out a way to punish you for that mistake that you make. So you got to... step number one for Mini right now is to rally your emotions, which I don't think is going to be a problem for Mini. He's not that type of player. So just rallying the emotions and now thinking about a good card to ban. I would say Graveyard's a good one. We see Wallace dominate with Graveyard so much, especially Mortar Graveyard. So he goes with the Hunter instead, which is another card that really limits Wallace's deck pool. We see Wallace use Hunter a lot. We see a lot of people use Hunter a lot, and it's because it's good. So Wallace could be using, it looks like Graveyard. It could be Royal Recruits, Royal Hogs, and there it is, Royal Recruits, Royal Hogs. First time we're seeing it today, and this Prince Mega Knight is it going to be able to break through? The Miner's just chipping away at these. This Prince is still alive. You're going to have to use more Elixir. A little bit of damage on the right side for Wallace. Has to go with the Electro Spirit. That's not enough. This Prince is going to get the charge. You got to play something. Whoa, it just takes the Prince charge, and just like that, takes the lead. Really cool deck by Mini. We've seen this deck already. Instead of going with the minions, which we've saw in the past, StangSand, I believe, use this deck with minions instead of bats, but we're seeing bats instead. We're seeing the Prince version as well, so no Cannon Cart, no Bandit. Last three cards are going to be either, it's going to be Musketeer because there is no Hunter, and it's going to be Arrow Zap, I believe. That's a lie. That's a lie. It could just be Arrows or Zap, and it could be Goblins. It could be Goblins. I've seen this deck. I've played this deck with Goblins as well. So we'll see what version. So he's going Zap. He's going Arrow. So last card will be most likely Musketeer. And no Goblins. We're not going to see Goblins in the World Cup finals of the Bren Chong Cup. Sadly. RIP to the Goblins. Buff Goblins. Goblins don't get enough love. Let's give the Goblins... you can't buff Goblins. They're just... That's not happening. So right now, really bad situation for Wallace. But we do see this deck, once you get a good defense, once you get that wave of Royal Recruits where you can start just pressuring both your opponents, making sure your opponent has to expend a lot of Elixir in the left, a lot of Elixir in the right, not have a big counter push because the Flying Machine's dealing with everything. The biggest thing for Wallace right now is this Flying Machine. If you can keep this Flying Machine alive, if you can get a lot of value, this is where it's going to start. So if he can defend this cleanly, attack, deal with the supporting units of Wallace, and just start doing the beach attack. I call this the beach attack because you see Royal... Mega Knight on the right side. Goes all in. Goes Royal Hogs, Royal Recruits, and Flying Machine on the left side. Great notice. Does he get anything for these bats? A lot of damage, but look at the Elixir. Wallace has no Elixir. Weird jump by the Mega Knight, jumping right. This Mega Knight's going to get a jump on the right side, no? Mega Knight gets a jump. Wall Breaker's on the left. Flying Machine's not going to be enough. I think one of those Wall Breakers should connect, and it does. And just like that, GG, well played. Miniminter is going to tie up this set, and we're going to go to game number 3. Tied, 1 apiece. Wow. I like what Mini did. He came out swinging right away. The longer this game went on, I think the better situation was for Wallace. But Miniminter right off the gate, he got that Prince shot. He got that Mega Knight jump. He got a couple of Wall Breakers on in that first, before double Elixir even hit. And I love it. Zap Arrows MVP. You know what? Sometimes you got to make do with the untraditional defenses. And that was perfect. Really well played. I think that's exactly what Mini had to do to get this entire set back in his favor. Just come out swing, come out hard. Don't let that little misplay from the last game affect you at all. And this is going to be... boom. If that doesn't say anything, I guess the sample size is 25. So that probably shouldn't say much. That's a small sample size. Horrible matchup. I don't know if it's as horrible as you think. I truly think if Wallace had a little bit more HP going into ×2 Elixir, if he was forced to go really aggressive, but that's just because Miniminter put him in a situation where he was so far behind that he felt like he had to go with that one big push, that one big attack, that knockout, just Mike Tyson, boom, one punch knockout. But if that wasn't the situation, if let's say that left side tower had 1,000 HP plus, I think we could have saw Wallace just really control the game, really just go with Royal Hog or the Royal Recruits, setting up with the Zappies, using the Flying Machine, getting a lot of value, the Barb Barrel to support, using the Electro Spirit every single time on those bats. We just didn't see it. This is a replay of the CRL World Finals. What? This is a replay of the CRL Worlds 2020. No, this isn't a replay. This is live. This is live. Yo, I Surder. This is I'm real. I'm a real person. I ain't a bot. I ain't from the past. I'm from the present. It's the best place to be. I just can't keep... I keep seeing this with his glasses. Miniminter. Great win rate, by the way. Great glasses. Great little... You got to show some teeth in that smile, but still. Not bad at all. So Miniminter looks like he's going to be running it back. Maybe going Lava. Another deck that we've seen Mini run with the arrows is Lava Minor. So without the... Oh, but the Minor is banned. So most likely not going to be Minor. So just run it back. It's weird that he's not playing anything. The last time we saw him play this deck, he was really aggressive. Could it be? Oh my gosh, it is. There's no way. Is he going Lava Balloon? Is Miniminter going Lava Balloon? So Wallace is playing the exact same deck. Cannon cart? Okay, it doesn't look like we're going to see Lava Loon. Maybe Graveyard. Maybe Graveyard, going with double small spell. We have seen that a couple of times. Instead of going with the, yeah, it looks like it's going to be that traditional kind of fire and ice graveyard deck. Having the Knight, maybe having the Mega Knight. We've seen this deck use the Mega Knight a lot. And then going in with one more support card to deal with air. So it is going to be the Knight. I think this is Graveyard. He's just using arrows and a small spell. Or maybe he's using arrows and a big spell, but I like what Miniminter is doing. So this kind of shows that he's thinking about his decks. Every single deck, he's thinking about every single change. Little ways to get these advantages with 1 or 2 cards, taking a meta deck and then putting a little bit of a twist on it. And that's sometimes all it takes. 1 card. We talked about it with Mugi's matchup, where Mugi with Hoggy Q was able to overcome Splash Yard. And a lot of people were saying in chat, the reason why is because he didn't have Bomb Tower, he had the Goblin Cage. And a lot of times, it's just one single card makes the difference between winning and losing, and just finding that one card, that one change that you can do. So we've seen this matchup a lot, not exactly with the arrow. So it looks like he has arrows Fireball. Last card for Mini is going to be the last card is going to be Graveyard. I just don't know if this is a great matchup for Mini. It technically should be. I'm gonna go with it is. He has the Mega Minion for the Flying Machine. He has the Fireball and the Bomb Tower for the Royal Hogs, and whatever else he wants to use it on. I think Mini has a great matchup here, especially having the arrows as well. I think the arrows are gonna help a little bit more, maybe, or maybe not. Just making his cycle a little bit quicker. So let's see what he does on defense here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see either a Fireball or just a Mega Minion come up high. Mega Minion up high for the Flying Machine. It looks like this Bomb Tower is going to go down really quickly, but arrows, wow, and there it is. That's why he has arrows in that deck. A push that looks very, very threatening. Half health, well, half health Bomb Tower is still a lot of HP. Bomb Tower is a little broken in that regards, but Royal Recruits, Royal Hogs all on the left side. Half health Bomb Tower, arrows, Bomb Tower, no problem. Not even one shot on the left side tower. So really, really well played. Miniminter is going to play this slow. He's going to play it really, really slow. I don't think this is going to be too much damage on the right side. Barbaro comes in. Probably going to use Electro Spirit. Yeah, Electro Spirit comes in. Zappies as well. Electro Spirit didn't do a lot, but that should be fine. Cannon Card's going to help on the left side, and then he's going to have a little bit of a counter push on the right side. And not only that, the Cannon Card's going to help with any units remaining on the right side. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Graveyard, or maybe just a reset. Arrows come in, a little bit more chip. And right now, Miniminter's behind. And I brought this up last game. The longer this game goes on, the better this deck gets. There's a lot of decks in the meta, especially the competitive meta, where you don't want to get the triple elixir. This is probably the one you don't want to get the triple elixir with at all. I've seen players potentially, we saw this with the Jupiter King and Line, the first best of one we saw in the Asia Regional Finals, where we saw both players start getting double Royal Recruits out, and that happens now that we're in triple elixir. Wouldn't be surprised if potentially we see Royal Recruits at the back and then Royal Recruits up front. It adds a lot of defense, and it puts up a lot of pressure for Wallace. He's in the lead, or I guess he's a little behind, but yes, going Royal Recruits, you have a lot of time. 44 seconds is a lot of time, so you got to defend. You really got to defend this Graveyard cleanly. And I do not like those Royal Hogs. I don't like those Royal Hogs at all. Arrows comes in, a little bit more damage, Flying Machine up high, but now you don't have Royal Hogs to deal. That's your primary way to deal damage. Mega Minion is not going to be enough. Fireball comes in on defense, and I just don't think the Royal Hogs was the play there. Could you have not just gone more Royal Recruits, put on more pressure? Bomb Tower comes down for these Royal Hogs every single time. I think Wallace is feeling like he has to do something that is maybe a little uncomfortable. We're seeing him do these plays where he's kind of rushing it. He's trying to force this play. He's trying to force a push. And you're not going to win, especially against a player like Miniminter doing those plays. That's a play that maybe you see someone on ladder make a mistake. They aren't expecting the Royal Hogs, and they lose because of it. Miniminter, he's probably drinking tea right now. He's locked in. He knows everything. He's going left, right. He sees everything. He's like Doctor Strange. He's already seen all the futures. He's gone into the future. He knows exactly how to win that. And Miniminter, it's weird because he plays like a CRL pro, but we have yet to see Mini in CRL. He's a player that easily could be in CRL, easily could have been in CRL. Matchup Royale. I don't think that was matchup. I don't think that was... I think Wallace had ways to win that. And I think the way to win that... No, you're right. I think that was too hard. Having the Mega Minion, the Fireball, and the Bomb Tower, a quick cycle, having the arrows as well to help you in certain situations. You're right. You're right. That has to be like a 70-30 matchup. It seems like if I was Wallace there, I would be complaining. I would be complaining about matchup. I would be saying that there was no way to win. Blah, blah, blah. CRL World Finals 2020 final match was Miniminter versus Wallace, hence the replay joke. CRL World Finals 2020 was Miniminter versus Wallace? Miniminter... What? Are you sure? Oh, you're talking about the All-Star. You're talking about the Clash Royale All-Star tournament. The one where we saw the draft for the first time, where I believe Seth was on with Rich Sladen, which shout out to Seth. It was cool hearing him talk about Clash Royale and just everything in Supercell. It was cool. He definitely has a lot of passion behind what he talks about, and he's very contagious with his. He talks about it in such a way where it was well spoken. He's very well spoken. Yes, it was the All-Star, CR All-Star tournament. Yes, I do remember that, and that was the finals, and that's where we saw Wallace win. Miniminter was coming from the losers bracket. He took one set off of Wallace, and then what happened? It was Miniminter versus Wallace, and Miniminter, I believe, did he miss a tornado? Or no, he missed a pull. He tried to pull a balloon. He missed the pull and lost because of it in the fifth and final game of the second set of the best of 5 in the 5th game. My son broke my PS5, so I decided to sell it. Want to buy a 4-year-old boy. I see what you did there. You thought I was going to say... I thought you were talking about selling the PS5, not the boy. So that is it. Miniminter won. Miniminter wins again. Wait, was that 3? Was that 3? He won that matchup. He won the one before that. Isn't that 2? That was 2. It said Miniminter won. It just said that Miniminter won. That was 2, correct? Let me see if I can get some data. Let me see if I can get the scoop. Call me Peter Paka. I'm going full Wallace timeout. What? Didn't get on time. He lost. Wallace lost. According to the caster chat, Wallace timeout didn't get on time. So Wallace didn't queue up in time, and for that reason, we are seeing a Miniminter win. So I guess congrats to Miniminter. He is going to be moving on with Mugi to the 3rd and final round. That will be tomorrow. And we'll see who their opponents are today. It's either going to be Samuel Bassotto, Mateja, and on the side for Miniminter, it'll either be Michifu and Egor. So not the weird ending to that round. I would have loved to see that second or that maybe 4th and 5th game. Wow, that is disappointing. So Wallace will be going to the losers bracket. Still in a good situation in the losers bracket. Could potentially work his way up. And we could see a Miniminter Wallace rematch in the finals. It seems like those guys always come together no matter what tournament it is. And now, I guess in the first... Right now, if you look at the sets in general... Miniminter won the first set against Wallace in the All-Stars, lost the second, and now won the set here. So is Miniminter up? Or, I guess, technically Wallace won the All-Stars. So maybe, I don't know, maybe best of 3? No, not best of 3. He timed out. It's 3-1. The set was 3-1, so that means Wallace disqualified from the 4th game, giving the win to Miniminter, and that is now 3-1 Miniminter, which... kind of sucks. That feels like it's a bad taste. I know rules are rules, and if you don't queue up in time, if you're not ready on time, that's just the way the world works. It sucks because maybe I'm selfish because I guess I'm a viewer first. I love to see quality Clash Royale, and it sucks that I'm not going to be able to see. It feels like it's not ended. I don't feel like I got a satisfying conclusion. It's like if you read a book or watch a movie and you're like, that ending sucked. where they ended with like, it was just a dream. It's like, what? They used the dream ending? That's cheating. All right, Mateja going with Goblin Cage. Could be a lot of decks. Could be a lot of decks. Same with Bassotto going with Hoggy Q. Hoggy Q right off the bat. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, there it is. It is going to be Lava Miner for Mateja. The usual version with Barbs, Flying Machine, Mega Minions, Skeleton Dragons. This deck's really, really good. Same with Bassotto's going Miner, Mortar, Earthquake Control, I believe. This matchup is so hard, but if anybody can do it... Wow, Flying Machine locked on. Uh-oh. Same with Bassotto does not have a big spell. That's already GG well played. Already GG well played. There's no way to deal with this Flying Machine. There's no way to deal with these Skeleton Dragons. There's no way to deal with anything. World Delivery comes down a second too early. He's got Amazon Prime. It came too early that time, though. And he wasn't home for that because that's going to be GG well played. Yeah, Mateja, you know what? Wins in the first minute. Wow. If you want to make a statement, if you're an underdog in a set, if you want to make a statement, show, prove yourself, that's what you got to do. Wallace tweeted, had 30 seconds to make a new deck. 30? That's it? Got that Game of Thrones ending, yo. That's salads. That is a perfect analogy. Perfect comparison. Shake my head, they're delaying Egor's match. Don't worry, Egor's match is coming up after. There's no way they can delay it longer. Also, that's weird that he only had 30 seconds. That seems, I can't even put together. Even if I knew a deck, I wouldn't be able to put it together in 30 seconds. So I think we got to figure something out with that. There's got to be a better way to make it easier for the viewers to watch the games, to be able to enjoy the games, so there's not a lot of delay between the games. There has to be that middle ground of giving the players enough time to make a deck, because I think I brought it up so many times that making a deck is so important. Putting yourself in a position to succeed is more important than the gameplay itself in a lot of situations. If you have that matchup, a lot of times you just win. It looks like Bassotto is putting in enough damage to maybe make this game close. The problem is Mateja can go with another Lava Hound here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Lava Hound in the pocket. Arrows come in, Lava Hound in the pocket. I would love it. Do it. Do it. There it is. Lava Hound in the pocket. How do you deal with that? You were struggling with one Lava Hound. Now you have to deal with 2 Lava Hounds. So 2 Hunters, though. A couple of Spirit Goblins. That might be enough. Miner on tower is not going to be enough to take out the right side tower. So he needs another Miner on tower, or could go with the Earthquake. Again, too early with this Royal Delivery. What is going on with Bassotto? These are not the misplays that we were seeing Bassotto do in the regional finals. This is not why Bassotto was #1 in the regional finals. Making misplays like that is not what you want to see. So Bassotto back in it, and this could be... There's a chance, that's what I'm saying, there's a chance. 30 seconds is too little time. If you told me, hey, here's my deck, make it, I wouldn't be able to make that deck in 30 seconds. I would not be able to. If you said Hoggy Q, I'd be like, oh yeah. I wouldn't be able to put the cards in my deck and go to the clan and queue up a game in 30 seconds. I wouldn't be able to. So I think I'm on Team Wallace there, but I understand on the side of production, they need the show to move. They don't want the games to be, I guess even for my sake, be 5 hours, 6 hours long, these events these days. It just gets too long. So making them quick, making sure there's not a lot of downtime between games is crucial. But the problem is when your opponent bans a card and you look at your deck and you're like, wait, oh my gosh, 2 of cards are banned in this one deck. What's another deck I can play? With 30 seconds, you don't have enough time to think of a new deck. More or less, you don't have enough time to make a new deck. There's nothing you can do. Which I think is a really important part of Clash Royale, and especially Clash Royale League in 2021. So maybe that's something that they got to look into, is just figuring out that sweet spot. Maybe it's a minute, maybe it's a minute and a half, but or maybe it's 1 timeout. Maybe each player can have 1 timeout where they can take a step back, look at their decks, look at the bans, look at the opponent's decks that he's been playing, and then figure out a way to make a deck to counter. So Bassotto is doing everything he can, but Flying Machine does not get the lock. 2 Flying Machines down, 1 Flying Machine locked on. That's going to be GG. That's going to be well played. Easy win for Mateja. Bassotto made it close. Brought it to a 2-tower situation, but the longer the game goes on, in a 2-tower situation, if you're a Lava Hound player, you love it. You love it. What Bassotto would have to do in that situation was be in a really good situation going into ×2 Elixir, but the opposite happened. Mateja was in the good situation, using Lava Hound, going into double Elixir. He was in a perfect situation. I wouldn't be surprised if Mateja was thinking about the second match while playing that. He played that well. He played that perfectly. I think Bassotto put up a great fight, but there was nothing he could do. Having that no big spell, having the Royal Delivery, and not only that, but missing 2 Royal Deliveries, that's GG well played. We all know Cash doesn't read chat. Give up. Wait, what? I read chat all the time. What? I've been so good with chat. Ouch, I didn't realize that was a command on my own channel. Ouch, I usually do my best. With casting and everything, I haven't been reading chat as much, but matchup royale, starting hand. I don't know if that was starting, yeah, a flying machine. Maybe it was just a little bit, he went for the defensive minor. I wonder if they're going to show the replay, but he went for the defensive minor. It was 1 second too late. Flying machine locked on, put him in an awkward situation, having to overexpend. In that situation, that's when we started seeing the misplays happen, and that's when we started seeing this game just slowly unravel, just slowly fall apart in Samuel Bassotto's fingers. So it sucks. That's the way it happened. I was very excited to see what that matchup was going to be, and it looks like Samuel Bassotto might be running a similar deck. Whatever you see, so it's going to be minor. It might be the exact same deck. I really like that band with Graveyard. It's one matchup that's really, really hard. Mateja is going right back to Royal Giant. Royal Giant, Giant Skeleton. This is a deck that he plays better than anybody else in this tournament. He plays it so well. We've seen him play against the best. We've seen him play against the hardest of matchups, and he always figures out a way to win. So Mortar on the left side, most likely not going to get a lot. Bomb Tower comes in, so it's not going to be, it's going to be Balloon. It's going to be Ice Wizard, Baby Dragon, Balloon, Minor for Mateja. I've seen him play this deck a couple of times. I'm personally not a big fan of this. This is a deck that I see Ruben play on ladder a lot. I don't love this deck. I'm personally not a huge fan of this deck, but you know what? Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. This is a situation where Samuel Bassotto doesn't have a lot of answers to air units. He has an Earthquake, you know that. Last two cards are going to be Royal Delivery, and it's going to be Hunter. So he does have answers to this Balloon. But if you're Mateja, if you can get this Giant Skeleton down, and if you can Tornado either the Hunter away from your Balloon, or Tornado the Hunter into the death. Oh, wow, that Balloon's too early. That Balloon's getting... No, that was perfect timing. The Princess Tower is right now shooting the Giant Skeleton, so Tornado could be a play here. Doesn't look like it's going to be. Doesn't look like it's going to be, but watch out for that. Going into double, going into triple. When that Giant Skeleton dies, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Mateja pull everything. Spear Goblins, Knight, Hunter, everything into that Death Bomb of the Giant Skeleton. And all he needs is one good Tornado, and this is going to be GG for Mateja. But he's got to keep doing what he's doing right now. Is just make sure he doesn't get too much damage on the left side. Minor gets a little bit of chip on the right side, but this is if we're talking about chip, this is a game that Samuel Bassotto wins 9 times out of 10. He has the Minor, he has the Mortar, he has the Earthquake, he has the Quicker Cycle. So if we're going like a chip game, this is going to be Samuel Bassotto's game. Mateja needs that big punch. He needs that Mike Tyson knockout. He needs to figure out a way to get this Balloon on tower, and I think he can easily do so as long as he just gets that right cards, that right counter push, and Samuel Bassotto has to make sure he does a good job of making sure that Mateja doesn't get the counter push, putting on this pressure on the left and right side, and I love what Samuel Bassotto is doing right now. Really, really good play. Spear Goblins up high, just making sure that the Giant Skeleton does not get on tower. Spear Goblins on the right are going to get a little bit of damage as well. Knight on defense for the Minor, and the Baby Dragon on the left is going to be perfect. Hunter now comes down on the right side, and this is weird because why would you not go just Balloon Minor on the left side if you're Mateja, or is that too aggressive? The Hunter, that's the best way to deal with these Balloons, is on the right side. You're going into the Hunter. Is that the right play? Another Hunter comes down, and that is going to be the saddest thing I've ever seen. The top 10 anime betrayals I've ever seen is 2 Hunters shoot a Balloon at the same time. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Hunter might be OP. Balloon might be OP. If you nerf one, though, Supercell, if you're watching this, if you nerf the Balloon or Hunter, please make sure you nerf the other one as well, because the other one would go just absolutely god mode and just destroy the meta. Both the cards are really, really good, but they kind of have this thing like keeping them in check. So Hunter comes down for the Balloon again, and that is going to be easy defense, not even close to getting death damage. And right now, Samuel Bassotto, look at his towers. The only damage so far that Samuel Bassotto has taken is that Minor at the 1 minute mark, where Mateja went with the Minor on the right side. A couple of shots come in, and that's it. Right now, Samuel Bassotto, he's going to keep putting on these Earthquakes on the right side. Wouldn't be surprised if we see an Earthquake coming down. Goes with the Minor first, now going with Earthquake. Maybe setting up a Mortar on the left side. He has to just keep doing what he's doing and keep to his game plan, because right now it's working. Mateja still has time, though. Balloon on the left side, which I don't mind. This is what I thought he should have done maybe the last time we saw the Hunter on the right side. So it's going to be Mortar up high, easily going to be able to cycle back to another Hunter. But if he does cycle back to another Hunter, potentially tornadoing that Hunter away, not going to happen in time. So that's another clean defense. Maybe a Balloon on the right side, though. Mateja is back to a Balloon. Is it time to just reset, though, if you're Mateja? Just reset. No, going Balloon on the left side. You know Samuel Bassotto does have another Hunter. Mortar up high predicts that with the Bar Barrel. Wait a second. Great Miner prediction, too. Tornado pulls the Hunter away, and this is the problem. He has no way to stop this. Ice Spirit, no, goes with the Mortar, pulls the Balloon away, no death damage, but right when you deal with one Balloon, you got to deal with another one. Hunter up high, dealing with that Balloon before he even gets close to the tower. Miner picked up by the Knight. Ice Spirit comes in to help, and that is going to be most likely GG with 20 seconds left. Sammy Bassotto doesn't need to go with Miner. He doesn't need to go with Earthquake. He can just keep going on defense. It looks like he's pressuring on the right side, just enough, too, because I think the Miner and Spirit Golem might take tower if he doesn't defend this Mateja. Tornado comes in trying to figure out a way to get this balloon through, but Samuel Bassotto is making this look so easy, defending like an absolute legend, and that's the Samuel Bassotto that I was expecting. This is the Samuel Bassotto we saw in the regional finals of the Latin American side, and this is the reason why he was #1 in one of the strongest groups in the Bren Chong Cup. This is the reason why Samuel Bassotto brought home the bank, brought hold #1, and this is the Samuel Bassotto I was excited to see today. Not the one in the first game, not the one that missed those royal deliveries. This is the Samuel Bassotto I'm excited to play. Or excited to see play. What a game. What a game. He makes it look easy. He makes it look easy. Samuel Bassotto's up there with Egor and Lapo with just these quick minor earthquake cycle decks. Just making them look so easy to play, so good. It makes Clash Royale, the game itself, look easy. All they did was defend. And he defended like an absolute god. On the right, on the left, never over-defended, always used the Hunter to get value. And even if he cycled the Hunter in the back right, his opponent couldn't deal with the Hunter, so you knew that Hunter was going to defend the entire right side and was able to always cycle back to another Hunter, no matter what Mateja did. If he predicted the Mortar with the Bar Barrel, if he predicted the Hunter with the Miner, even if he predicted the Hunter with the Miner and tornadoed it away, still was not enough because you can cycle back to another Mortar and pull the Balloon away. We didn't see death damage even come in once. Death damage. How wild is that? We saw a game that probably is the perfect balloon game. We didn't see a balloon get a drop, but we didn't even see death damage come through. I don't believe. Maybe we saw some at the end, but still, really well played. And it looks like Samuel Bassotto is going with maybe a similar deck. It's not the same one. Is it going to be Royal Hogs, or is it going to be Royal Giant? It could be Royal Hogs, 2.6 cycle, or it could be Royal Giant. Mateja going with Mega Knight. So it looks like it's going to be Royal Hogs. Samuel Bassotto is going to be going with Royal Hogs. 2.6 Royal Hogs, unless they're... You wouldn't use Royal Delivery with Royal Giant. So yeah, this is going to be Royal Hogs. We saw Samuel Bassotto play this deck a bunch, but it's not the best. And in this matchup, this could be really hard because we know Mateja has an arrows, which not going to be a big deal, but I don't know why I even mentioned it. I think the biggest problem is going to be this Mega Knight. So Samuel Bassotto, we know his last card is going to be Royal Hogs. If he goes Royal Hogs right now, that's so much Mega Knight value. Sure, you can outcycle it, but you don't have the best way to deal with these Mega Knights. I think this is a really bad matchup for Samuel Bassotto, and I don't know how he's going to win it. So Mega Knight comes down already. If he can defend this cleanly on the right side, maybe go Royal Hogs on the left side. Maybe, but now you see the Royal Delivery come down and you're like, wait a second, now I can easily get a lot of value with my minions. The minions are really annoying to deal with. Mega Knight gets the jump, Musketeer gets on tower, and just like that, Samuel Bassotto can't win this. It's impossible. I've played this match before, and it's so annoying because you have to wait to use your Royal Delivery on the minions, because if you don't, you have no way to deal with it. But sometimes you have to use your Royal Delivery on the Mega Knight, on the Prince, and if you do, that's when the minions come in, and that's when I think is going to be the most threatening thing for Samuel Bassotto. I don't know. This is going to be, if anybody can win, it's Samuel Bassotto, but still, this is going to be a hard uphill battle. It may be one misplay from Mateja, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Mateja win this game 2-1 going into the fourth and final game, and maybe I can't say it. I'm not going to say it. I cannot say it yet. I cannot say that Samuel Bassotto is going to lose this set. There's no way. So right when you see the Royal Delivery come in, that's when you see the minions come in. And just now you can't deal with them. Log comes in trying to keep this Hunter alive. It's going to die from the Prince. And then Royal Hogs on defense. No Mega Knight. So a little bit of Royal Hog value. Arrows come in. You know what? Not bad. Has to use more Elixir though defending this Prince. And just like that, one Royal Hogs has made this game very, very close, but don't let your eyes deceive you because I don't think this game is as close as you think right now. Mega Knight at the back. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Samuel Bassotto cycle cards and get back to Royal Hogs. Go Royal Hogs on the left side, and that's what we're going to see right now. Royal Hogs on the left side. Boom. And that's pretty good. Maybe just a zap on the left side. Yeah, zap comes down. Minions as well. You can't stop the minions if you're Samuel Bassotto. And now it's all about this defense. Going with the Royal Delivery, you don't have to worry about minions. So that's a really good Royal Delivery on the right side. Miner coming in, protecting the Hunter like an absolute G6. I don't know why I just said that. And that is Royal Hogs on the right side. Does have Mega Knight, so Mega Knight does come down. Doesn't have enough elixir. Wait a second. Arrows come in. That's a lot of damage. And just like that, Samuel Bassotto is in the lead. Uh-oh. Well played. That, I agree, Mateja. You know what? You got to respect it. And this is where we might see just absolute, just earthquake cycle, log cycle, spear goblin chip. I love it. Just putting your opponent in a weird situation. And he might go, I don't know if he can get to another earthquake in time. I don't know if he can. World Delivery comes in. Can he get to one more earthquake? Can he get to one more log? He needs to play one more card. And there it is. No way. What? Samuel Bassotto. How? How? I've said that more times casting Samuel Bassotto. I've casted so much Samuel Bassotto, and the amount of times I've said how. I'm speechless. Samuel Bassotto pretty much played that perfectly. He did a great job defending his hunters, making sure his hunter got every single time it was played. It got more than 4 value, more than 4 elixir worth of value. Sometimes it dealt with a prince, sometimes it dealt with minions, sometimes it even dealt with a Mega Knight on top of that. So add that all together. What is that? 15 elixir? 15 elixir? Yeah, that, if you get 15 elixir, I guess you're supporting it with Royal Delivery, with skeletons, with everything else. But I think that match, is it crazy to say that that match showcases the power of Earthquake, but not only Earthquake, but also showcases the power of Hunter? How crazy was that? Earthquake, what was the tower at? Was it at 600? 683? Was it 683? Whatever it was, we saw Samuel Bassotto able to cycle to 3 Earthquakes, 2 logs, or maybe just 1 log, and win the game. If you're Mateja, that's got to feel bad. That's got to feel really bad, losing to Earthquake. And I think that's the perfect example of what we just saw, is why a lot of pro players, a lot of the Clash Royale community, and me have been very vocal in saying that Earthquake is a win condition. Earthquake almost took a third of Mateja's tower. A third. EQ and Hunter are both top 3 cards in the game. I 100% agree. 100% Hunter. In my opinion, Hunter's the best card in the game. And the reason why I think it's the best card is if you just peel back the interactions, if you just look at every single interaction, there is not any interaction for the Hunter that is a negative interaction for the most part, especially if you look at win conditions. If you look at Lava Hound, if you look at Balloon, if you look at Hog Rider, Royal Hogs, Giant, Goblin Giant, Golem, Elixir Golem, I've missed a couple, but nonetheless, every single one of those win conditions, the Hunter can deal with so well, so perfectly, that I think if you just explain it like that, it just sounds ridiculous. And whoa, Samuel Bassotto going with another Royal Hogs deck, and it looks like it is going to be maybe this might be a really hard matchup. The problem is the barbs are going to get infinite value. I've played this deck. This is very similar to the deck I play on ladder, and a lot of times I've been switching Spear Goblins for Firecracker just to help with this matchup. In ladder, you play a lot of Lava Hound, you play a lot of decks with barbs, and barbs against Royal Hogs, if you don't have Firecracker, is a really bad trait. Every single time. So what Samuel Bassotto is going to have to do is pretty much what he did with the Electro or with the Mega Knight in the last match. And he's going to have to try to outcycle. But the problem is, you still have the Goblin Cage. You have the Goblin Cage and you have the barbs for these Royal Hogs. The last card for Samuel Bassotto, I'm assuming, is Earthquake. If I had to guess, if I was a betting man, it's going to be Earthquake. So he's just running the same deck back. And that's a very Samuel Bassotto thing to do. But did Mateja predict this? Did Mateja know? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, because I think it's going to just be one push by Mateja. Not having that big spell. We saw it in the first game, how much difficulty Samuel Bassotto had with defending these big push. Not having that fireball. Having that Royal Delivery that deals a decent amount of damage to everything, but keep the Flying Machine stays alive. The Mega Minion stays alive. The Barbs stay alive. I think the biggest thing is going to be the Flying Machine. Samuel Bassotto has to figure out a way to deal with these Flying Machines, and the best way for Samuel Bassotto to deal with these Flying Machines is with the Hunter. The problem is, he goes, actually, wow, that was really cool. I was able to cycle to 2 Hunters. 1 Hunter survives, goes with the Royal Hog. That's a cool defense. That's a really good defense. But the problem is, Royal Hogs come in, gets a couple of shots. More shots than I expected, actually. Wow, a lot of damage coming in, but this is the counter push. Do you go Lava Hound in front of this? I could argue, yeah, 100%. Lava Hound in front of this. This is what you did in the first game. This is what you're going to have to do again, is just stack troops. Go with the Spear Goblins, go with the Skeleton Dragons, go with the Flying Machine, go with the Mega Minion. But look at the Hunter. Look at that Hunter, just blasting. What a great defense by Samuel Bassotto. Well played. Wow. Samuel Bassotto is elite. Samuel Bassotto is elite right now. Earthquake comes in. We know that all you got to do right now if you're Samuel Bassotto, eat that log, cycle back. You got so many 1 elixir cards. Play your Spear Goblins, get back to another Earthquake, and that's GG. Well played. That's insane. I would not be able to win that matchup. That's very similar to the deck I played, and I would not be able to win that matchup at all. I don't know how he did it. That is insane. I don't think Mateja played that well, or didn't play that bad. I think Mateja played both of those matchups so well, but I think that just shows the difference from some of these caliber players. I think Mateja has really done a good job in this Bren Chong Cup. He's proved himself, and he's proved himself against some of the best. But the problem is, Samuel Bassotto has achieved the level that I was expecting last season, that we didn't see last season, but we've seen him put in the work. He's been grinding ladder. Every time, if you go on ladder right now, if you look at the local leaderboards, I wouldn't be surprised if Samuel Bassotto right now is top 10. At least last season, he was. He's put in the work, and it's apparent with how he did in the regional finals, how he did in the group stage, and what he's doing right now. His defense is so fine-tuned, and sure, maybe you can make the argument that is he abusing... Is he abusing cards in the game that are kind of broken? I think what Samuel Bassotto is doing with these cards is making them look more broken than they are. Hunter in the hands of me in that deck, EQ in the hands of me or you or anybody watching, Drew, the community manager from Clash Royale, in the hands of any of our hands. If that deck, if those cards were in our hands, we would not be able to do what Samuel Bassotto just did. Samuel Bassotto makes... The reason why Earthquake seems so broken is because some players are just so good at defense where you can just defend with cards like the Hunter, cycle cards, getting all the way back to your Earthquake, get back to more Hunters, whatever you need to do. They just make it look easy. They make it look easy. And speaking of making stuff look easy on defense, Egor, next match, going up against Michifu. And this is an interesting match. I want to talk about this for a sec. So this is a little background. So Michifu, he came in first in the North American side. I think a lot of us know that. The way he came in first, though, is he beat LaPoKaTi. LaPikati, if you don't know, is really close friends with Egor. So I wonder if Egor is doing that whole friendship vendetta kind of thing. Going like, hey, you beat my buddy. You made him in second. He wanted to go for first. You're the reason he didn't get first. I'm going to show you who's boss. This is for maybe this game right now that Egor's thinking is for LaPikati. Egor, this is exactly what you should do if you're Michifu. Go with Graveyard. This is the deck. This is the only archetype that has a chance of beating Egor using this deck. It's the only way you can. So Michifu right now, he knows what Egor's going to play. Egor's so dang stubborn, though, that he doesn't switch. Egor plays this deck all the time. Last two cards, it could be Bomb Tower. Most likely it's going to be Mortar. Most likely it's going to be Earthquake. But it could be Bomb Tower. I would hope it's Bomb Tower. I really hope it's Bomb Tower. But it could be Mortar. It is Mortar. Dang it, Egor. I wouldn't be surprised if after this we see Egor ban Earthquake, because Egor is an enigma. I have watched Egor in the group stages. I've watched him in the regional finals. I can't understand Egor. He has this kind of this core set of cards that he has in every single deck. The Hunter, the Knight, the Ice Spear, the Log, the Spear Goblins. Usually those cards, or at least 3 or 4 of those cards, are in every single one of his decks. And what he does is just switch the win condition. He puts in a Hog Rider, or puts in a Graveyard, puts in just the Miner, or the Mortar, or whatever it is. He has such a great defensive ability, but one thing that I'm curious to see if he does here that we saw him do in the regional finals is if he loses this game, we could see Egor banning Earthquake or Miner. We've seen him do both, and it's weird because if you think of players that need Miner, that are good with Miner and Earthquake, that have been getting value from those cards and being so good with those cards, it's Egor. Egor is the one. If you want to get someone off Earthquake, off Miner, it's Egor. You think of, I gotta get Egor off it, but Egor's been doing this weird, I don't know if it's a flex thing, I don't know if it's a confidence thing, but getting himself off his best cards. which I hope he doesn't do. I hope it was a confidence thing. I hope it was an ego thing that we saw in the regional finals, and I hope he comes back to us because I think he's going to lose this game. Okay, wait, no, I got a piece of paper here. Don't count out Egor, or no, KK or Egor ever. Okay, thank you. Thank you, piece of paper. I always got to look at that every so often. So it could be anybody's game right now. Egor is behind, but you know what? Anything can happen. These defenses from Egor are going to be good. Spear Goblins come outside of the poison, so good defense on the right side. And just like that, less than 300 separating the right and left side tower. Sure, Michifu does have a lot of damage on the left side, but Miner comes in. Most likely we're going to see... Ooh, Egor is not using Earthquake. He's using Fireball, which I think is going to help him more in this situation. So Knight comes in. You know Graveyard's going to come in. Going with Cannon Cart first, being patient. I like it. Hunter comes in. He needs the Knight up high for the Cannon Cart. Really, really good play. So Log comes in. Hunter should turn around. Yes, Hunter turns around for helping Graveyard. Perfect. Not a bad defense at all. It takes maybe 200, 400, a lot. It takes a decent amount of damage. But this is where the Miner comes in, gets a little bit more damage. Fireball doesn't come in, but still, most likely Egor is going to set up on defense here and then go cycle back to another Miner. Goes with the Knight. Interesting. You need that Knight to pick up this Cannon Cart. That's a interesting play. Interesting. I'm surprised that Michifu... Mortar's locked. That's GG. As long as he can defend this Graveyard, this GG well played. Mortar's locked. You can't stop that. You have no reset. Miner comes in too. You got to deal with both. That's GG well played. Thank gosh I had this piece of paper here. How does he do it? That's a weird play. That was a weird... I wonder if there was lag on the side of Michifu. Because that seemed weird to me. Seeing the Knight on the left side and then going in with your own Knight, why wouldn't you not go with maybe Cannon Cart in that situation? And then Graveyard? Would that have been enough? Maybe not. I can't believe you just let that Mortar lock like that. That is insane. Add Samuel Bassotto to the list. You know what? I think I have to. So, very heavily favored for Michifu. And I agree with that. I really, really agree with that. Okay, I'm gonna put Samuel Bassotto as well. KK, Egor, Ever, and then in brackets I have Lapo and Samuel Bassotto because those players are amazing. Wow. That's, wow. That Egor, every single time. I think, what was it, 2 minutes left? And I said, well, most likely Michifu is going to win this game. Well, problem is Egor is Egor. And the reason why he uses those core cards don't... Okay, that's Michifu. That's right. Michifu lost, so Michifu bans Miner. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Egor going with Hog EQ. We see him do that a lot in the second game after. Yeah, it's going to be probably Hog EQ. So Egor... Oh, he's going with Graveyard? What? Egor, you're using something different? This isn't you. Egor. Okay, who stole Egor? Where's the real Egor? Can we get him back? This is a fake. There's no way. I have casted way too much Egor. He would not use Mega... This is a meta deck. Egor doesn't play meta decks. We're talking Egor, right? He plays Miner Earthquake, Miner Mortar. He plays Royal Giant, Spear Goblins, Hunter, Cycle. He plays 4 cards in his deck and changes 1 or 2, especially the win condition. Maybe this is now Egor saying, I'm taking this seriously. Michifu going with the deck we've seen him use a lot of times. A lot of times. And it's just Mortar Earthquake control deck. This is going to be a deck that's going to be relatively hard, especially in this matchup, to win because of these Graveyards. Graveyard, he does have Spear Goblins. We didn't see it there, but now Egor knows he has Spear Goblins. Probably already knew. Every time those Spear Goblins come down, you know that Egor is going to just snowball the Spear Goblins, get the tower, and it's always going to be a positive elixir trade. It's going to result in a lot of damage every single time. So Cannon Cart tries to get in front, does not get in front. More on defense, that's going to be fine. Pretty even trade. Yeah, Cannon Cart goes down. He played Spear Goblin, or he played Skeletons, he played Mortar, so 5 for 5. I think that's fine. Maybe a little bit of a misplay by Egor, but doesn't happen often. If that's your misplay of the tournament in the Bren Chong Cup too, you gotta look at it being happy. So now we see the turntables turn a little bit. Now Michifu's using Egor's I guess baby, the Earthquake, that we've seen so many pro players use so well against him. So Knight up high, Firecracker's gonna get a lot. You need the Snowball right away. Fireball comes in for Firecracker, Snowball comes in for Spear Goblins. The problem is, does he have anything for this Mortar? Archers come up high. Really good predictive Knight. Michifu is playing this amazingly. Predictions on predictions. That's a full health Mortar. Goes with the Cannon Cart. Cannon Cart's going to help out a lot. Mortar should get at least 1 more shot. Just one. Just one? That's fine. So right now, game is close. 500 separating both of these players. I can never count out Egor. Never, ever, ever. But these firecrackers and the pressure that Michifu is putting on this left side is really, really good so far. Right now, you should go with exactly another mortar. Keep this pressure on the left side and make sure that Egor has less elixir for these defenses. Maybe you can get the spear gums, get a little bit extra value before, while Egor's saving up that elixir to get to that snowball because he had to spend the elixir on the left side. So Mega Minion, Cannon Cart is coming over. Snowball instantly, right away, always comes with the Spear Goblins. Earthquake on defense, potentially? No, just Log on defense. That's a really good play. Bomb Tower for no prediction Knight there. No predictive Knight. So Bomb Tower is going to help out. Is that going to be enough? Mortar will not get a shot on Tower? Yes, it does. One shot on Tower, and that is going to be potentially GG. Egor has to go in right now. Knight to block? No bridge block. No bridge block. Okay. Do we see the graveyard come in? Egor being very patient. Very, very patient. So now we see the Cannon Cart. Cannon Cart doesn't come over. Snowball has to come in. Earthquake, this is the problem. All you need right now if you're Michifu is another Earthquake. You can defend this. There's no tank for this graveyard. And this should be GG, well played. You probably, if you're Egor, get to one more graveyard. And Michifu, I think, should be able to defend this, though. We've seen him defend this. Cannon Cart is off his wheels. Earthquake comes in on the left side. All you need right now is one log, and that's going to be GG. No, you need a little bit more. That's not enough. Tornado, that's enough. GG, well played. Michifu's going to take that. And Michifu beat Egor at his own game. The control, the defense, and the Earthquake chip. Using Mortar against the Mortar God. Wow. That's confidence. Did Jupiter King make it? No, he did not. Jupiter King had a really, really bad, really rough regional finals. He made a couple of misplays, and it showed. Jupiter King's a really emotional player, where if he makes misplays, you notice it. You notice it affect the rest of his game. You notice it into the next one, and the next one after that. He's a very big momentum player. At least I notice it. Maybe Jupiter King will say the opposite. Maybe he'll just be like, oh, I was just tired, or I was just hungry, or whatever the situation was. But we saw him make a lot of misplays, and we saw his gameplay. We didn't see the same Jupiter King we usually see. Wow, Michifu beat Ruben's guy. Don't write him off. Yeah, that is... wait, does Ruben think Igor's going to win it? Is that what you're saying? Wow, EQ Cycle game looks so fun. OMG, Thanos. What, you don't want to play EQ Cycle Royale? Step right up. Defend for 5 minutes and throw earthquakes at your opponent. Is it even more ridiculous than... Expo? Expo shooting your opponent from the opposite side, or playing a card that your opponent literally can't defend to deal, 200 and some odd damage every single time? So Michifu going with a little bit of Wall Breakers, and Egor banning Tornado. So Egor going with probably Royal Giant? Whenever you see Fisherman, it's going to be Royal Giant. So Egor usually does this. He does like a weirder Royal Giant deck. He uses Spear Goblins, uses Hunter, uses that kind of core group of cards that he uses in every single deck. And Michifu, this is the deck I brought up at the beginning. I brought up that the metas of the regions are different. And it was apparent in the regional finals and in the group stages, seeing different decks be popular depending on the region that you were watching. This is one that we saw in Europe, and only Europe. This is the only, we didn't see it in Latin America, we didn't see it in maybe we saw it in North America. I don't remember. I didn't watch all of North America, so maybe we did see it in North America. But we didn't see it in Latin America, we didn't see it in Asia, and I thought that this would be a cool deck that might catch someone off guard. I don't think it's going to catch Egor off guard, because Egor plays this game way too much, but the last 3 cards are going to be Hunter, Cannon Cart, and either Royal Delivery or Log. Most likely Michifu's using Log. We saw Michifu play this match, technically a mirror matchup against Morden to knock Morden out. I think Michifu was using Log in that match, and Morden was using Royal Delivery. So this is a deck that when I look at it as a Clash Royale player myself, this is a deck that I look at, and it doesn't seem good on paper where you first look at it, and you're like, wow, this deck looks awful. This looks like a deck that's mid-ladder. This doesn't look good at all. But then you start peeling back the layers, and you're like, wait a second. I understand why this deck is so good. Okay, so there's a lot to this deck that I have to kind of unpack. And the first thing, let's talk about the Cannon Cart. Let's talk about the Cannon Cart, because I've seen a lot of times with this deck, the Cannon Cart get a lock and the Cannon Cart win, or the Cannon Cart be a card that helps a lot with getting that elixir lead for this deck and overall winning the game. So the Cannon Cart, what does your opponent usually do to pick up a Cannon Cart? Well, your opponent will most likely play one of their buildings, either the Goblin Cage or the Bomb Tower, or most likely they'll play their Knight or their Hunter, whatever it is. Well, if you think about it, how does your opponent also deal with the Bandit? There's a lot. Cannon Cart locked on. No, it does not. Great Log pushes it back, but Bandit does lock on. There's a little bit of like bridge spam in this deck, but also bait. Cannon Cart as well. You want Wall Breakers on tower. GG, well played. It's over. It's over. It's over. I wasn't able. Michifu did so well with this deck. I wasn't even able to talk about this deck before he already won with it. Ugh. I had so many talking points on this deck. So many. I was waiting for someone to use this deck. And I wasn't even able to talk about it. All right, I'm going to go through them quick. Cannon Cart, if it gets knocked off its wheels on the other side of the arena, well, it still tanks for the Princess. Similar to the reason the Cannon Cart's so good with the Mortar, Princess on the opposite side, Cannon Cart still on the opposite side of the arena, protecting the Princess, and a lot of combinations there. Princess as well. You want to use your spells. You want to use something on the Princess to deal with the Princess so they don't start stacking up. And if you use that spell, that's when the Wall Breakers come in. That's when the Goblin Barrel comes in. And on defense, you have Hunter. What else do you need on defense? We saw Hunter so many times just blasting his way through every single, the scariest of defenses, blasting. That is a deck that Egor should have practiced against. I assume that's a deck that Egor has practiced against, or at least thought of that he would face, because we saw Michifu use this deck. We saw Michifu use this deck a lot, and not only that, but I think we saw Michifu have the most success with this deck. I don't remember if we saw Ruben play this deck, but we did see a lot of players play this deck in Europe. It wasn't a popular deck, but it was the most popular off-meta deck we saw in Europe, especially in the regional finals. And out of everybody, Michifu played it the best. Michifu was by far the best player with this deck, and I think he just showed the dominance with that deck. Does that go into this? This goes into another conversation. What's better to play? Do you play a meta deck where your opponent's played against the deck, they know how to defend that deck, they know how to win against that deck? Or do you play an off-meta deck where maybe your opponent gets caught off guard, doesn't know how to defend that deck, doesn't know what the maybe one or two cards in that deck is, and get that surprise factor? These are all questions, really good questions too, with coming into the CRL 2021 season. So Miner's out, so Egor could be using Hog, or it could be Graveyard. We've seen, I know it sounds ridiculous, but we've seen Egor use Graveyard Earthquake. So it looks like it's going to be Mortar. Mortar Earthquake is actually a viable deck. We've seen Egor use it, and it looks like Michifu's running back that first deck, going with the Fire and Ice. Should be I keep saying it should be a good matchup. But against Egor, it's so hard to say if it's a good matchup or not. It's not a traditional... Watching Egor play is not like watching any other player play this game. He just figures out a way to win. And he uses these cards, these cheap cards, these 1 or 2 elixir cards, and just gets so much value with them and just puts so much pressure. He always figures out a way to get this Mortar lock. And I don't know if it's skill, or if it's just experience, or if he just knows the timing. Maybe it's a little bit of luck. But it seems like he always knows when to go with Mortar, where his opponent's like, uh-oh, what do I do? And they have to overcommit to the Mortar, get that elixir deficit, and that's when you see Egor's wheels start turning. That's when you see Egor start getting a little bit of that advantage in elixir, but also in damage. I'm losing my voice, boys. I'm losing my voice. How many more games are we in for? This could potentially be the last game. So everybody watching, first off, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the Bren Chong Cup. I'm only casting today. Day 2 and Day 3 will be casted tomorrow on Rich Sladen's YouTube channel. So ! Rich in the chat. That is Rich Sladen's YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out. Sub, notification, everything, just so you don't miss the rest of this Bren Chong Cup. Tomorrow is going to be insane, but if anything, Sunday is going to be the craziest Clash Royale solo event ever. I think, personally looking at this event, the quality of players and the level of Clash Royale we've seen has been a tier that we've never seen before in any other solo competition. So definitely don't miss Sunday. I will not miss Sunday. I'll be watching it. I might be co-casting with Rich. I don't know for sure yet. But I will definitely be involved, either in the viewer, I'll be in the chat spamming along, yelling, oh my gosh, Mugi's the GOAT! Just boasting Mugi or whatever it is. Right now, Egor is a little bit behind. He has to figure out a way to win. It's still a very close game, but not having that Miner to just chip away with alongside those Earthquakes. I really like this bridge block, wins the bridge battle, and this is where you can probably just go Earthquake cycle if you're Egor. Earthquake, yeah, Earthquake comes in, now you have the lead. Now it's all about, can Michifu deal more damage than Egor? Wow, Egor, that's a lot of elixir on the right side. That's a lot, going Snowball and Log. I think it maybe would have been better to set up your defense first and then do that. why am I saying anything to Egor right now? Egor knows what he's doing. We've seen him do. Every time he does something, there's a reason behind it. He's thinking about this game like chess. He's already thought about the next play and the next play and the next play. He's thought about what his opponent wants to do and how to stop his opponent from getting the thing that they want Egor to do and do the opposite. I know that sounds ridiculous. I don't even think I said that correctly, but Egor knows he has a plan. That's what I'm trying to say is he has a plan. I can't wait to see what he does in this going into triple elixir, because this is when the mortars start coming. This is when the defense is going to be elite, and this is where it's ridiculous. Hey, what's up? Hope you're having a good day. Yo, Reyes? Yeah, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, last minute casting the Bren Chong Cup, so I think a lot of people will probably come in and be like, yo, Cash, why are you casting this? You weren't supposed to cash this. Did I say cashed? I think I said cashed instead of cast it. I think I'm losing my mind, boys. I think I'm losing my mind. Please come tomorrow to cast on Rich's channel. We'll see what happens. I think right now he hasn't messaged me about anything, but we'll see what happens. Even if I'm not co-casting, I'll be in the chat. I'll be spamming away, watching it with you guys, and watch this graveyard defense. Hunter comes in, so double Hunter needs to go with the Log as well. Log comes in. Poison is going to get a lot of chip, but he has to deal with this cannon cart. Knight comes up high. Is that going to be enough? Mortar should be able to get one lock, maybe. Earthquake comes in, and still Egor is very behind. Graveyard comes in, maybe the last Graveyard. Snowball comes down, slowing the DPS of both the tower and the Hunter. The Spear Goblin's right outside the Graveyard, and I just don't think Egor has enough time. Goes in with an Earthquake, but he needs so much more damage than just Earthquake and Lock. He needs something else. He doesn't have enough. He has to defend this Graveyard and also deal 400, 500 damage on the right side. I think this is it. I think this is it. I think I can truly say that Egor is going to lose. Snowball comes in, Earthquake comes in, Michifu. Wow. Wow. Michifu, I brought this up when we talked about that when we were in the qualifying stages. The reason I was so excited for this tournament was because I knew there was going to be one player that was going to make that step from being rising star to star or star to all-star, or just one player that we were going to look back at the Bren Chong Cup and be like, wow, where was this? Where did this come from? And I think right now, I can safely say Michifu is that player. Michifu is that player that has made that jump. He has done so well in the Bren Chong Cup, and seeing what he's doing against the quality of players he's doing, Ruben, Morden, Egor, what's next? Mugi? Maybe. Michifu can do it. He really, really, really can do it, and I'm excited to see what he does tomorrow. I'm excited to see what he does on Sunday, and if we're putting bets on who's going to win this Bren Chong Cup, you have to at least think about Michi. Michi is looking great. He's looking amazing. Wow. Egor loses, system fails to process. The fax machine noises. Okay, that's not how the noises work. Oh, I pinched the nerve in my back. Just to confirm, hopefully there's nothing, no flag on the field, no touchback or no nothing. I think we've gotten to that point where this is the end for day one. I believe so, but don't go anywhere yet, just because I don't know for sure. I might be wrong. We have been streaming for 3.5 hours, so I think that might be it. So I guess before we leave, exclamation point Rich in the chat, the tomorrow stream and the stream after on Sunday, the final day, the final match of the Bren Chong Cup 2, that will be on Sunday. But Saturday and Sunday, both the streams will be on Rich Slayton's YouTube channel. The link for Rich, wait, what? What happened to the Rich command? Did someone get rid of Rich Slayton command? Give me 1 second. YouTube, Rich Slayton. Boom, bang, bop. Oh, Nightbot's not working. Oh, gotcha. It's just a little slow. Okay, in the chat right now, that's Rich Slayton's YouTube channel. Check it out. Make sure you sub notifications so you don't miss when it goes live tomorrow, which I believe is 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So same time today is Saturday and Sunday. That's when the day 2 and 3 will go live. Wow, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be insane. Before I go, Appgrade, it's one of the sponsors for the... I can't point. It's one of the sponsors for the Bren Chong Cup, and it is where you need anything Bren Chong Cup, if you want to know who's winning, who's losing, lifetime standings, bracket, who's going to win the bag, who's going to lose the bag, who's crying, who's singing the blues, everything, and I mean everything, could be found on I Cannot Point. I'm just flexing right now. Oh, look at the guns. Wow, I can't point. I'm giving up. App grade. Check out the app. It's really, really good app. It has news as well and all the pro scenes. So if someone gets signed, if someone does something crazy in the pro scene, cool. Any notifications alongside the Bren Chong Cup, who wins, you'll get that instant notification saying, hey, this person won, and you won't miss any of the Bren Chong Cup action. So that is, I don't want to leave right now just because they're still talking, and I don't know if this is actually the end or not. I think it's the end. So if it is the end, thank you guys so much for... I don't want to conclude this, though, yet. I don't want to conclude. I'm scared. First off, thank you guys so much for watching. How's your guys' Friday been, by the way? Happy Friday to everybody. Chewbacca cheers. I can't think of a better way to start off this Friday than a little bit of quality Clash Royale, a little bit of quality Clash Royale community, and just a quality start to a day. A really quality start to a day. I really like this. It was a lot of crazy Clash Royale. Right now, the people that we have left in the winners bracket are Mugi, Wallace, Michifu, and... Did we see Mugi play twice? Are we missing a match? Am I losing my mind? I gotta get some more sleep. I gotta stop drinking so much coffee before my bedtime and sleep. Give me a sec. I'm tripping out. World Fun. Oh, okay, no, we did. Okay, we saw Same Bassotto play against Mateja, Same Bassotto and Mugi tomorrow. Wow.
Bren Chong Cup con
So everybody, that was stressed me out. I was like, wait, did we still see Mugi's second match? We did see Mugi's second match. That was against Mateja. No, yes, maybe. I'm losing my mind. Wallace lost, didn't he? Oh, yeah, you're right. Wallace did lose. Yeah, Miniminter won. So it's Miniminter versus Michifu, and then it's Same Bassotto versus Mugi. That will happen tomorrow, and then all the losers bracket will happen tomorrow as well. So that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the Bren Chong Cup too. Make sure you come back tomorrow on Rich Lane's YouTube channel because there's going to be more fun, more action, more everything else. And quality Clash Royale is a guaranteed. So I'll see you guys there. I maybe will be co-casting. Most likely I'll just be in the chat. Yeah, if you haven't already followed, Faction D, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Cash fam. Hope you're having a good day. And if you haven't already hit that follow button, make sure you do. I stream Clash Royale pretty much every day. 1v1s with you guys, ladder as well. Top ladder. Lots of fun on that side. Potentially doing 7K or cut my hair this season. We did that in the past and I got the 7K, so that's why I still got my hair. Imagine not. I'm actually bald. This is just a wig. I guess before we go, first off, thank you guys for watching. A lot of you guys, this isn't Bren Chong Cup. I'm gonna get off the Bren Chong Cup real quick, just because I don't want this to be associated with Bren Chong Cup. Let's just go to web. So, everybody watching, thank you guys so much for watching. This is doing these events is so nerve-wracking for me. And not only that, but just last second coming into this event, I was really nervous. I felt like I wasn't prepared. And seeing you guys in chat make it so much easier. So much easier. Thank you guys so much for watching. How did I do, by the way? Did I do okay? Or am I going to get ripped on for being a Zook? I saw someone that commented and he's like, people are saying that, or someone said I think you're doing a good job, but other people are thinking you're doing poo-poo pee-pee. 500 viewers, that's crazy. Great job, Crowder. Much love, man. Thanks for being here. Miguel the Doofus as well. Mad Evil, thank you guys so much. Castle of Peace, XOX, Jordan, Iron Ringed, Mad Evil again. I'll say Clash with Matt, Burden, Taro, Grandpa Patrol, everybody. Reyes, Legolas, if you guys are still here, what's up? Bean, what's good? How's it going? Trainer Rain, what's good? Is that Dodge-Tastics emote? Is that Dodge's emote? Jaden was good. Hypnotic, what's up? Reyes was good. You're always amazing. Okay, I'm not always amazing. There's sometimes I suck. So let's give, let's give Morden the host. He gave me a big host one time, so I'm going to give it back to him. But I will, I was thinking about potentially streaming right now, but I'm hungry. I'm really hungry. So let's just give Morden that host. Let's go on. I'm going to maybe just stream tomorrow instead, do the whole global tourney. And I think now I'm just going to work on Morden host 2 days in a row. Did I? Who else is streaming? Phone Cats. You know what? Let's give Phone Cats. He was the first person to ever host me. So you know what? Let's give Phone Cats that host. He was when I was the small little fish having one viewer. He hosted me, and I sent him a message on. I sent him a whisper saying thank you, and he never responded. But you know what? I still like the guy. So give him that love. I'll see you guys later. Put the bracket here. I'll put it in right after I host. Okay? Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. I'll put it in my Discord. Wait. Oh, okay. Wait a second. Dang it. Dang it. Okay, bracket is here. Bracket's in. Now I will host Phone Cats, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll do the GT. If not, I'll see you guys also on potentially Rich Slayton's stream. Love you guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Hope you guys have a good Friday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Deuces.